And, and we are live. I was about to go into a story with Broseph behind the stage, but I figured we should go live and save that for the viewers here for the future. So I know we don't have any live people right now, but I'm telling you, in the future, this is going to be a hopping live channel.
They're going to be lining up.
People are interacting with us, but I do know that the kickoff for the show, the post, live, when it goes up as a video after the fact, people are watching and reaching out to me and saying that they like what we're doing, they support what we're doing.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And I was doing some research today. I'm still living in the past as far as how YouTube works. So I did some research today. We'll go over it in a little bit. Let me start the show here. Everybody, thank you for showing up to the Saturday Live. We pushed in an hour. We're going to try for noontime Eastern Standard Time. Typically, we pushed in an hour to 1 p.m. because my buddy Chad from Florida works in the morning. He was going to join us. He's running late. So we're going to have a special 2-hour episode today where Broseph and I catch up, everything that we're working on, and then talk about some stuff that I'm researching. I don't know how true or false it is, but I'm updating the stuff. It's kind of like the journey, the process. And then at 2 p.m., Chad's going to jump in, and he's going to walk us through how he's paid off his student loans through nothing but gig and app work over the past years living out of Florida. So he knows all the apps: Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, DoorDash, Postmates, the ones that have come, the ones that have gone. Him and I originally met because I had this channel was called Dave Wright the Capitalist, and I was the #1 Instacart influencer, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, information place. No one was doing it. So I just kind of was like, oh, if no one else can find the information, I'll start making it. Met him through there. I'm actually libertarian. He's into Tom Woods, friends with Tom Woods as well.
Oh, nice.
He's in the Tom Woods community, goes to Tom Woods' house for the libertarian events. So we stayed in touch over the years. Yeah. And so now, anyways, he'll be joining us at 2 p.m. And I'm joined today. Shout out Cypher Sounds. With my co-host, as always, on Saturday, Broseph Smith, who joining us from the central, I guess. You're not quite the West Coast. Well, parts unknown. I don't know if you want to disclose where you're at.
It's the Denver area, Yeah. It's just Colorado. So, I'm in the Rocky Mountains, living the Rocky Mountain High,
Nice. Well, we've been trying to find a time that us on separate parts of the planet can meet where enough people can show up and kind of get the gist of what we're doing and come live. And most people are viewing it after the fact. But it's funny, I was listening to our buddy's podcast. I'll be on Corn Fed with Dalton Prune tonight at 10 p.m. and every Saturday night going forward. But I was listening to him and Pandatron, who will be our guest tonight, and they were talking about World of Warcraft. And I joined World of Warcraft and started a 6-year to 7-year addiction of raiding. I got in, I was like, oh, this is like D&D, but there's no arguments because the computer solves it all. And I'm just like finding trolls, and I'm leveling, and I'm really good at this. Oh, this guy asked me to go help with this. Next thing I know, I'm like running raids in the main tank and doing all this research. But I had joined a West Coast guild. So like I was destroying my life because I was working during the day. And then they would go on at like 9 o'clock, which was midnight for me. And we'd raid to like 4 a.m. my time. And then I would like get a 3 hours sleep, work all day, come home, get another 3 hours sleep, and like raid for years. But anyways, so maybe we'll talk about that tonight, because they were like, oh, I heard some people destroyed their lives. And I was like,
hey, me, shout out.
I met a lot of good friends. I actually have a buddy in Utah that I met through his whole family. I watched them. But anyways, I digress. So today we're going to catch up as we always do on the projects that we're working on. I don't know what will be best and most valuable for the people here, but I've been working on branding and goals to traffic the algorithm to the projects that we're working on. So the way that I'm understanding the algorithm now is they put you in categories. It doesn't matter what category you necessarily put yourself in. The algorithm starts putting you in categories. And the reason niching down and getting a fine point on your goals is important is because if you don't, it doesn't know where to put you. So instead of putting you in the wrong category, it puts you in no category. So you sit in a in a place of purgatory where they're like, okay, this person is not a creator as much as they make some videos, but they're mostly here for social interaction. And when you niche down and try and tell the algorithm, this is what I am, it can feed you to the proper audience. So that's what I've been slowly working on this week with everything that we talked about. And I can get into that in a little bit here, but I thought maybe you could catch us up. I've been doing a lot of talking, catch us up on what you've been doing this week, because it's been pretty eventful.
Yeah, so this week, past week, I've been to a few estate sales and also thrift stores. Been focusing. So just to back up, this past week, after the last week's episode with Paul, I've been focusing a lot more on the eBay stuff and kind of the more specifics. The specific stuff Paul was talking about, as well as getting into kind of looking around more in, I guess like eBay community stuff, reseller community stuff, kind of getting, feel for what I should be, again, along with what Paul said, kind of referencing other data points as well for maybe stuff we didn't talk about as much, or, maybe stuff we touched on. And then I was like, wait, hold on, I want to pursue this, this thought. Like, for example, the sell-through, like kind of daily versus monthly sell-through rate of your individual of your own inventory, as well as looking at new items and on eBay, kind of seeing their sell-through ratio to judging those, to see if they're worthy or not to be in my inventory. So yeah, past week, been basically, I figured out, your individual sell-through rate. Some people aim for, 1% daily, which is, if you have 100 items, you sell one a day, or and then I think in general, I believe, a monthly solid sell-through rate is about 20%. So I've been kind of trying to, look at the stuff that I have, reevaluating, okay, how can I increase my sell-through rate by adding more kind of, just basic rather than premium items? Because it's not like I have a ton of premium items, but there's some things that just a lot of people aren't into. It's stuff that's niche, some niche stuff. Like I have quite a few copper rounds listed on my site and some Austrian coins that are not silver. That's a very, very, very narrow band of interest for those. So I've been focusing on
definitely taking niching down to an extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but we kind of discussed this.
Yeah,
is you're very passionate about the coins.
Yes, yeah. That's the other thing I've been focusing this week, getting more into and learning about the numismatic world and coincidence. Sorry, not to cut you off, but yesterday we were just at an estate sale, and they had a nickel, what do you call it? Kind of like arcade machine in their garage that they were selling. And I asked the guy that was sitting in there, watch over stuff. I was like, hey, you mind if I look through these nickels? I'm a coin guy. And he's like, yeah, for sure. He's like, yeah, this is my father-in-law's stuff. He was a coin guy too. And then second and a half passed, I was like, wait, hold on. So I'm not going to find any war nickels in here, am I? And he's like, nope, absolutely not. So he directed me over to his wife, who told me that he was actually a professional numismatist, and he worked for he graded for PCGS. There's guys, one of the groups that makes those, the actual graded slabs that tell you how valuable the coins are. And he worked for APMEX and ANA as well. And so I was like, wow, this is incredible. Do you have any coins? And she said, actually, unfortunately, we didn't think anyone would have an interest in coins because, the young kids don't anymore. So we gave them all, we sold them all to a coin shop down in Colorado Springs. But she did point me in the right direction and, offered to as well point me in, right directions for like connections for, guys in this world, which is absolutely incredible because, that was the second, or I guess third I'd gone to. And immediately I, found connections for, I not only found a bunch of cool stuff to resell, not coin related, but also found connections to just going out in the world immediately in my, like you said, extremely niche.
Well, when you listen to these, you see those videos of the guys like interviewing these rich moguls or whatever.
Yeah.
For business. And they're always like, oh, your network is your net worth and all this. And coming up, starting a business, being an employee that works for somebody, you can get triggered by that, for lack of a better word, where you're like, whatever, like you guys know each other. So it's all nepotism.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that, because as I started, I'd always had businesses over the years and they weren't quite clicking. And then I would go on and one would click and I'd make a ton of money. And then the market would change and I didn't change quick enough with it and I would lose the money and then I'd do it so on and so forth. But with the Amazon business, on the same topic, I had a friend visit. I think I mentioned this on another episode. And he would come around with me and try to learn the business. And I would walk into like my Staples where I did my shipping and the manager would come over and say hi. And then I go to this store and the manager would say hi. And everybody knew who I was in the area. And he's like, what's going on? And I was like, well, I'm a small business in the area and they want my business and I get to know them and we work out deals and they help me out. And so every book that I had read growing up was like, tell your family members, tell your friends, people want to help you, tell everybody where you go. And Paul mentioned this in his episode. He tells people he sells out eBay and he's like, oh, I have all this stuff I wanted to sell too. So one of the first steps is internalizing or getting on purpose to figure out what it is that you want to do so that you tell people that, so that that you either push them away, which people like, oh, I don't want to push people away. It's like, well, yes, people that aren't in alignment with you, either it's morally, ethically, or business-wise, you kind of want to push them away, not in a mean way, but just you want to gravitate towards people that are on the same mission and purposes of you. Anyways, to go further, so it's good that you talked about that because now you're out and you've already gotten some people that you can kind of network with. And then even if that doesn't become a lead, maybe now you're in a local coin like networking thing.
Exactly.
Or maybe an online one where you have access to some stuff in Colorado that some guy in Great Britain doesn't have, that some guy in Japan doesn't have access to. And now you guys can circulate merchandise to one another. So
merchandise information, it's that, and that really excited me. Obviously haven't done anything, with it yet. I've been really, they're not only focused on that, but also I figured they've got their estate sale going on till Sunday. So they're probably, but as well, today I went to a couple other ones. The first one I went to, now I forgot to ask at the second one because I had to go to the bathroom really bad. But the first one I was at, I did, I was looking around. I was like, hey, just curious, do you have any coins or, specifically coins? I was looking for jewelry as well, but, coins or stuff because I was like, I collect, and the lady was like, oh yeah, let me get you this other lady because these two women are, run this smaller company. I guess it seems a lot less marked up and, whatever. It seems a lot more beneficial for me. I'll say that. But so they they were like, hey, yeah, talk to this one other. And so she said, oh yeah, actually I have a ton of stuff. We didn't put it out because, we've had people trying to steal a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're doing this separately at an invite only type thing. And so I got my name on that list. And also, because she was going through showing me some of the quarters, and she's like, I've got these, sets of the, proof sets of quarters of all the full 50 state silver quarter set. And well, she just said quarter. I was like, are they the silver proof? She's like, oh yeah. My dad's a banker. I was like, no shit, or no way, mine too.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm like, oh, cool, awesome. And then so I got my name on that list, and she also said that, they for this list as well, they for these trusted people, what people to show interest.
Yep.
They send out the invite early for the estate sale so that we can show up before anyone else comes in. And,
I've heard about this. Yeah.
First picking. So I'm like, this is the fourth one I've, at this point, fourth one I'd ever been to. I was like, this is sweet. Speaking of connections, I'm like, all right, I'm just that, on top of all the factual things, kind of just the feeling of, all right, this is going the right direction. I'm learning, little by little, kind of getting my foot in the door, different places. And yeah, so TLDR, even though it's already been
when I started selling my childhood like video games and stuff, and I kind of knew them, and they tell you if you're going to get into reselling to start with any products that you already know.
Yeah.
And I thought that I knew pretty well, but once you get into it, there's like a lot of counterfeits and stuff that you have to start learning. Yeah. And sometimes the expensive ones you have to open and check the chips to make sure it is what it actually is, and so on and so forth.
I bought a gold and silver testing acid kit.
Nice.
Seen those in those like in the videos where they have the little slate. Yeah. I got one of those. It's like $15 on Amazon, super cheap, and so because just to make sure, because also other day I think I had messaged you about one of the specific things, but we had bought a bag of, or a couple bags of these of costume jewelry.
Yeah.
Inside of that was some sterling silver and potentially some gold as well. And not only that, but also some just vintage, and some real pearl and mother of pearl, as well as like vintage brooches from like the Art Deco era, and some from like Germany and stuff. So I was like, it's sweet, and like you said, making sure that things aren't counterfeit, or also if you're just getting stuff that is sold to you kind of as, trash or throwaway costume jewelry, I've got the stuff to be like, all right, let's double check, because if it is trash, I can just lot that up and resell it on eBay, as some, just vintage brooches, or if it is gold, then I can check now, I can make sure. So
if you're watching this and you're like, and you're thinking, this is not something that I'm interested in, which is, metals, precious metals, jewelries, coins and stuff. This works with different stuff. Like, just to go back to the video game stuff, when I first started going to yard sales every Saturday after I sold my stuff, because I'm like, I'm going to start doing this full time with the video game niches, I would show up and maybe they'd have like a PlayStation 2 and like a couple of games or whatever. And when I first started going, I would just leave. I would just walk through real quick, not embarrassed, but like I was in a hurry, but also I didn't want to chit chat. I just wanted to look, get my stuff and go. But then I recognized I would go in and say, hey, do you have any more video games? And they'd be like, oh yeah, we didn't put them out because they didn't sell last week, but we do. They're in the garage. And sometimes like if they're having multiple weeks of garage sales and they just get tired, they're not pulling everything out. So then next thing I know, I'm in the garage and I'm finding Nintendo 64 Mario in the box, clay fighters in the box and all this stuff.
And sick stuff. You're like, wow, all right, awesome.
And
but you
then
have to ask.
Then if you call ahead and you're like, hey, my name is Dave. I'm a video game collector and stuff, but I also buy knickknacks and stuff. You guys are open at 9 a.m. on Saturday? And they're like, oh, we just do that because we don't want too many people like showing up at the same time. But like, if you want to come look at the video games, you can get here at 8. And I was like, oh, perfect. What's your name, Tom? And I would like write a note, and then I would show up at 8, and they'd be like, oh, we're not open. I was like, oh, I talked to Tom. My name's Dave. Are you Tom? And like, yeah, he's like, oh, he's like, oh, you here for the video games? I'm like, yeah. So now, like, not only am I there, not only do I have a friendship and a connection with the guy, but no one else has been able to take this stuff. I get first dibs, kind of like what you were saying. You get higher up on the list, and it's simply just from like treating people like people and whatever experience, that whatever endeavor it is that you're doing. If you're going to get into some sort of flipping,
and just being a human and like being approachable, as well as like, reciprocating. Because another thing I've been, one thing I haven't done as much, that I started to do today, because again, kind of referencing, you said, you're kind of just nervous, like, all right, how do I do this? What, getting the feel for it. And then,
I'm not even sure if it's nervous, but sometimes you just like I know a lot of people in my community. And so sometimes I'll go to the grocery store and I just want to go in and buy groceries and leave.
Yeah.
But I know a couple of the women that run the registers, and they want to like say hi and chit chat, and I'm not in the mood to socialize.
Yeah.
So it gives me a little bit of like anxiety. And so if you show up at the garage sale and you're like, I'm just not really here to socialize. I want to like kind of buy
business. Yeah.
You're just not in the mood. It kind of creates a weird type of social anxiety sometimes.
But and just with that, like I haven't, with the social anxiety part, I haven't, and not even crazily. It's just like, I don't know if I want to step over that line. Negotiating prices, especially when everything seems so low, like today did it for the first time. It was just this painting of, it was like sailor's knots and stuff. And I'll be honest, I kind of just wanted that because I, grew up Eagle Scout and stuff like that. So it's like, that's a nice reminder to have around, but also can resell it. They listed it for 8. I was just like, 10. I was like, can you do that for 8? And they were like, yeah, sure, definitely. And then, so that's, I guess my point on that is just, getting more comfortable, like you said, not only with just, approaching people, but also asking, because if you think about it, these people want you to buy their stuff, they want it gone. Like that's why, that's why they're doing the whole thing. And so there's, I guess kind of what I learned today was, hey, it's because I'm usually the type of person to be like, they put the price, I should respect the price, because with everything, with art, with other stuff, that's acceptable. Walmart. But when you're at something like this,
you start on. I want to show a comment here real quick. So Raphael says he's sick of the AI thumbnails and the images, but I will say, like, the first, I don't want to get into the whole story because I'm not going to throw people under the bus, but like just people in general, I make the thumbnails, and it's pretty easy for me to throw me and Broseth's photo in there, and it'll just kind of like put our things, but in a glossy thing with the title, and a one shot, one thumbnail, and I upload it. But there's an old saying, like, what is a camel but a horse by committee? Once you start getting multiple people that don't like the thumbnail and stuff, it starts turning into whatever. I made like 50 different adaptations of that thumbnail, and I was like, forget it, I'm done. This is the one we're using, and I'm moving forward. But as far as the reason I want to bring up the AI was not to bash Raphael. I appreciate him showing up. It was to say I use it quite a bit as a tool, and as a negotiation tool, it's been really good. Like, I went to my mechanic that I somewhat trusted over the years or whatever, and I was in the thing, and he got the work, and he's like, here, let me let you look at it. And I just said, can I take a second to think about this? And he's like, yeah. And I sit down and I literally snap a photo of it. I go into my chat GPT and I said, hey, I'm at my Volvo specialist. Volvo Direct won't do this. I don't necessarily trust everybody. Here's the rates I got. Can you just go online real quick, compare this, and blah, blah, blah. And when it pops back up, it says, okay, yeah, we'll look through this. And he's like, actually, this is a little bit high. This is a little bit high. I think you could get it for this. I went back to him and I said, hey, I went through this stuff and I'm looking some of the numbers online, and I showed him what I thought it should be. And he took $1,200 off the bill right there through negotiation because I think a lot of times we're nervous to negotiate because we don't know the value of something. But once you get the data and you have empirical evidence to present to the person you're negotiating with, then you feel a little bit more confident to say, hey, this isn't worth this. This is worth this. This is it. And it feels less of like an emotional, I'm trying to get one over on the guy, and more of like, hey, here's my empirical evidence with this.
Exactly. And you're pointing to data points. You're not just pointing to, I don't want to do this.
So me and Lewis have had many talks, and I've actually sent him some ChatGPT prompts for his product, Body Brain Coffee, on Amazon, so that they can go through. But I am not involved with the coffee or the Amazon thing. I wish I was, because he's leaving a lot of money on the table. When Lewis is ready to reach out to me, I'll fix his Amazon sales, and we'll be selling. And within a couple months, maybe a year or so, he can probably be selling a couple thousand units a month. But
dude, hell yeah.
Anyways, as far as the AI goes, I find it as a very useful tool to give it a bunch of data and say, here's the data and statistics that are working, and here's what here's like the reality of the situation, and here's where the thing that I'm using is. Look at these two in comparison. How would you make this thing that I have here that's not near this closer together? And then it will give you a list. For example, I went and I made and actually I can pull it up here. We went and we made our link trees, right?
I still need to redo mine.
Mine was originally like blue, and it just had like all these random links on it in random orders. And I was kind of using it like a one-stop stuff, because I had all these social media sites, and I was just like how do I get all this data to everybody? And so I fed all the analytics of how people properly use Linktree into a project in ChatGPT. Went through, got some more video data, some analytics of what was working. And then I fed it screenshots of mine and said, what about my thing here is not in alignment with these top analytics of these top users on Linktree? And it slowly went through. It changed the colors for me. It changed the links order up here for me. It told me that my number one goal, if that's why I want to drive traffic for the TikTok thing, should be up top here. So when people know what I'm up to, I'm trying to get the 5,000 followers that we talk about. Put my philosophy main channel here, which is my other YouTube channel. But basically it had me redo the title so people so it's not like, here's a link to my website, here's a link to my TikTok. It's more of like, why should I go to your TikTok? Well, I'm going to put daily thoughts up on my TikTok, and I'm trying to get to 5,000. So if you're interested in like kind of helping me, then that's where you want to go.
You include the value in the title.
Yeah. If you want to know just my philosophy main YouTube channel, then this is where you go. You can ignore everything else. If you want the blogs and the video, here's where you want to go. I just put together, I've had a Subscribe Star, but I was using it incorrectly. So now Subscribe Star is going to be set up where I'm going to put, if you want all the stuff that I'm working on, when a new Wright Ideas drops like this, I'm going to be putting the links to it in my Subscribe Star. If I make a new philosophy thing, it's going on my Subscribe Star. When I do Corn Fed with Dalton on Saturdays, and when I'm on other podcasts, I'm going to have one feed, which is the Subscribe Star. It's free. It's like a Patreon, but it's free, and it allows you to just see all my stuff in one thing, join up and communicate with me face to face. It's kind of like social media, just to get in touch with my stuff. So
it's like for comics, the Punch Up Live thing.
It's basically it's basically Patreon, but they don't censor. So down the line, if people didn't like certain philosophy topics that I was talking about, Patreon will kick people off. This is one where they're open to free speech and ideas or whatever. So I just chose them in case anything that I'm talking about becomes taboo in the future or whatever.
Hopefully nothing on this channel.
Yeah, so there's
not make money your own way.
there's new other things you could do too. So like if you're watching this and you're putting together some of the stuff, one of the things they recommended that I do if I'm like trying to build my YouTube channel was to put together an introductory video of like 90 seconds, put that on a playlist, put some of my top content on there or top clips of my content on there.
Yeah.
Or some videos about what I'm going to do and make like, a playlist of 5 to 10 videos and then put a link here that says interested in following me on YouTube, start here. So like when they click on it, they're getting like an introduction, hey, blah, 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 and they're getting a rundown. So you're kind of using this as a funnel to your goals and stuff instead of a tree of links to get everywhere, which is what I was using it for. But anyways, I'm liking it much better than my old one. I wish I would have been able to put them side by side because I see a huge difference with this. But again, I use this with screenshots of AI after feeding in analytics to the AI and just saying, hey, compare these analytics, compare what the professionals are saying to mine, and what would you do to fix it? And then in between, you're still adding your own character and ideas. It's not just blatantly.
But you're having like the form of, the proper, like the template of,
yes,
okay, this is how to make things as straightforward for anyone trying to interact with you as possible. So
yeah, and I'll give you another idea here. So here's my philosophy channel, right? And I didn't really know what to do. I just wanted to have my philosophy channel. So I fed in some screenshots to this and kind of did the same thing with the analytics. And right off the bat, it's like, well, you're not a philosophy teacher. You don't talk about Socrates and Voltaire and Aristotle and that stuff. So this photo primes them that this is a philosophy, like history channel.
Yes. Yeah.
So it right off the bat was like, we should probably remove this for something more modern. So we went through with some different ideas. And let me see if I can show this here.
Just get you a giant mosaic of Rothbard, Hop, Mises.
No, this was the first one.
Oh, nice.
But it basically was like, I don't like the lettering. I was just like working with it or whatever. But I was like, what if we used the back of my studio as the backdrop? So I got a screenshot of that and I started like, just mocking it up. And so I haven't worked with the colors yet or whatever. But I think this would be a much better improvement to, if we go up here and we were to edit this in real time here. Let's remove this from stage, add this to stage. If we were to change this to that backdrop, and it doesn't quite fit, so I'd like have to, shrink it down or whatever. I do think that this would be a much better, the actual hardwood like I have behind there.
Yeah.
With the words or whatever than what I have. And so it's not just blindly following the AI. It's getting data from other people, their empirical evidence, feeding the empirical evidence into the AI. So you're basically taking like everything that's on the internet, and instead of like asking a question and you're going through every encyclopedia, you're taking a book of the encyclopedia and the chapters that are the most important and effective, and then saying, okay, here's this, just look through these effective parts is what I'm doing with the AI. And what would you do? And then you're still processing it as a human and saying, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to change that.
You're figuring out like the different things, like the concepts behind what it's pointing out. Like you were talking about, like with the changing the color of the link tree, you're like, it told me to change the color. I'm not sure about this color. I remember when you're messaging me yesterday, day before. It was like, I don't know about this specific color, but I understand, like, I should change it from what I had it before to something that's more visually, appealing to people just clicking on it, or visually easy, Yeah.
So. Well, so this brings us into something that we were talking about, which we were getting, I don't know if burnt out is the right word. It wasn't really burnt out, but we were procrastinating on some of the projects that we originally set as goals. And TikTok was one of them.
Yes. Yeah.
And we were both energized to do something because we were doing things and we were excited about that. But when it came to TikTok, we were not energized and we were procrastinating with that. And we came to the conclusion, or at least, you know, I don't know what you came to, but my conclusion was that I shared with you was that we wanted to add value to the online community, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, and get a following of people that are here to get this data from us, and they have value from us, and not just get 5,000 followers and then sell them stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we
just do the machine kind of, which is ironically what I kind of at first got. I was like, wow, you could just, you know, get a bunch of followers and crank stuff out. Oh, incredible. Let me try that. And then as soon as I, you know, started going, like we were talking weeks ago, those engagement rooms, I was like, yeah, no, this doesn't really seem like, and not just in a prima donna, oh, this doesn't seem like me type of way, but like you were saying, this isn't adding value. This isn't, you know, creating anything of, you know, we're supposed to be content creators. This isn't creating anything of real content, just, you know, following the recommendations like, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, just post a photo of whatever. And then with a caption, and then with the music that it's like, because there's to me a line between following only what you know, the TikTok algorithm says, and then doing only what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know I can't just do only what I want to do. You know, if I only just do, you know, the nerd coin videos without any consideration for the algorithm, then I'm going to be, like you were saying earlier, in that low tier of TikTok followers or creators. So what I've been thinking about, you know, recently, and honestly, the past week or so, I've been really digging deep into teaching myself, you know, like how to detect coin errors and stuff like that. And like you had mentioned, that should probably be stuff I did on stream, and I've been procrastinating that. But so I've been trying to kind of set up, you know, my, I guess, plan for going about TikTok in a way that, like you're saying, creates value, adds value, and rather than just, you know,
this is so this is my biggest dilemma with all this stuff. So I do want to share, help the community, whatever, gain value, but I also want to try to figure out how to monetize my life in a manner that I'm adding value to the community, just living my life, and the aspect of that living can be monetized. The issue that I always have is, like, if I'm out hiking, for example, and I'm like, this is so beautiful, I'm out here hiking, the scenes, or the snow crunching under my feet, or the sun setting in the distance, and I'll often think to myself, there's people that are home that are either injured, on disability, or don't have the financial means to move, to go to a place that has a mountain of views. It would be amazing for me to film this content, to get the content to them so they can appreciate this thing that I had, you know, have at my back door. But the very act, it's like looking at a proton, like the very act of taking out the camera to film the hike and show the sunset ruins the experience for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to even bring my phone with me. So I can see why you're like, oh, I'm super passionate about coins. And then they're like, well, share it. And you're like, well, the very act of filming myself doing the thing that I'm passionate about kind of takes away from the passion of loving it, because it's this thing that I have that I cherish and enjoy. And the very act of like kind of sharing it makes it like feel dirty in a way. I wish, like, I don't want to big brother myself with like cameras, but it is kind of nice to have a setup where, like, there's so many times during the day, the reason I film such my philosophy videos in the car is I'm having this huge thought for myself where I'm like working out something. And I was like, oh, I should just record it and upload this. But then when I do that, the audio's crappy and the camera's shaky and no one likes it. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it in the studio, but then I can't replicate it because I'm sitting down to try to replicate something that I actually do in real life that I'm passionate about, which is figure out these philosophical ideas. Anyways, I don't know what the balance is, but that's what we're here. We've decided that we're going to record the journey of trying to figure this out.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And just along the way, like basically, because in conjunction with what you were saying about, it almost, you have these hobbies, it almost, to some degree feels like, this is my sacred meditative time, like this is like, to some extent, like, I don't know, because for me, like with the coins, my grandpa was a CPA and my dad's a banker, and so there's even an aspect of like, the I know coins aren't family history, but the familial connection of, we've always noticed these things are of value, and it's a, in a weird way, a shared experience, even though that they're not here. Well, my dad's still alive, but he's not physically here with me doing that. It's almost, anyways. I'm rambling, but and in addition to that, I'm still pretty new at, I get, there's a lot of things I do know. There's a lot more that I don't know, and so part of my hesitancy in approaching that is, I don't want to present myself as a, an absolute authority when I myself am just.
Well, here's the thing. So,
but that goes along with what you're saying, filming the journey.
Yeah, because I've talked about this before too, and I get into this with philosophy a lot, and I get into this with the veganism thing. It's like, so I explain, oh, I'm pro-life vegan. So like, I try to remove as much suffering as possible. So then somebody like, oh, well, you run over bugs with your car, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, so whatever. It's like, okay, well, let's murder people then. Like, you ran over a bug, so now let's just murder. So it's like, it's hyperbolic, but so if you're like, I have to be the utmost 100% most expert of all time on coins, then you're never going to be able to make a video.
Yep.
But if you put things into relativity, where there's 8 billion people on the planet, and you've been studying coins for 5,000 hours or 3,000 hours, then you're a certain way up the line of expertise, where anybody behind you that's interested, you're an expert to, because they can't tell the difference between your expertise and the best expert, because they're so far behind.
Yeah.
And the best expert might be so far removed from them that when he tries to explain, and I often have this problem when I'm discussing big ideas with people, is you have so much stuff, and you're making such a leap back that you don't really know where to start for the person that hasn't started yet. But you're so close to the starting point that you'll have a good perspective for people that are starting.
It's actually more beneficial.
Yeah, you're an expert to somebody, because not only are you the expert in the coins to them, but you're the expert of just starting the journey of coins. Whereas if you're an end game coin connoisseur, yes, you're an expert on coins, but you're so far removed from how to start the journey that you're not an expert on how to start the journey of coins. So I think we can all kind of share the knowledge. I wanted to backtrack for a second to something Mac said in the chat here. So Mac said, I lost my job last month and started doing AI training, getting paid more now to train AI, how to make my job in the future. We won't say that because we were doing a family-friendly show, but I'm done with that career. I will say this. I sent you a video about this, and I looked into this recently. There is remote jobs where there's AI is coming, whether people like it or not, and it needs to be trained. And there's jobs where you just can sit down with AI, answer questions, feed it information, say if it got spit out the right stuff. I don't know how entailed it is. Maybe we can find somebody to have on the show to walk us through it.
Yeah.
But there is I've seen some job interviews in some sites online where you can sign up to train AI, and they pay pretty good compared to, they don't pay like a great job, but they pay better than the average job, but also you save because you do them from home. So there's no commute, there's no gas, you're actually working from when you start to end. There's not an extra hour of of driving or half-hour driving and then a half-hour of pruning and getting ready to go.
Yeah.
It's all done from home. So I am interested in AI training as a way to work remotely from home.
Quick question for was it Mac or Matt in the chat? Is that the data data annotation site? Yeah, Mac. Was that because I have seen that, and one guy had recommended that to me. This one website or one company, I guess, that does this data annotation. They it's a AI training company, and it's like you can apply, and then I don't know. I looked it up on Reddit. I feel like I'm always too cautious about things. I didn't pursue it because they were like, you can get paid a lot more if you know programming and computer languages and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know any of that. So I don't know anything about software. I don't know. And they're like, yeah, those ones get paid. You can get paid like $40 an hour, and then the other ones, it's not bad, about $20 an hour. But also, I believe the lower tier might have more selective interest. I don't know. Again, this is something I don't know anything about, but a couple people recommended AI training to me, and specifically one had recommended that data annotation site. And
yeah, I'm trying to look here.
Good.
Do you remember I sent you a link? Did I send it to your phone? I looked in the DMs. I didn't see it, but I had sent you
that was a while back.
A link to a guy that was doing home jobs like this.
Let me go back.
So I did, just while we're looking here, I did enroll in a TikTok automation AI course this week. Started learning. I thought it was going to be a TikTok shop, but really I would say maybe 20% is showing you how to do TikTok analytics, TikTok shop and stuff. And the other 80% is how to use AI for scripts, making avatars, making the avatars look realistic, how to add products to your hand. And I will be able to create full influencers of any gender, race, age, religion, to sell products online. Nice. Using these different AIs. So I started that course. It's pretty cool. It's interesting because the idea would be, right now you have to find something that looks exactly like that, train them. You'd have to have them do multiple videos. Now you can go right on there and say, okay, the number one purchaser of this is moms between the ages of 35 and 55. So I'm going to create an avatar that's a mom that's 35 to 55. That's, has kids and blah, 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 this age group in this area. And you can create an avatar that they relate to. And then you can take your product and think about what the benefits that relate to them are for that product, and then create the video right for them. And so, yeah.
That's great. No, and you can do it for like specific sub communities, like, we can focus on Mormon,
Yeah.
you could even like, do that, Utah Mormon, and because to copy specific cadences and, reference, things that would be meaningful to, whatever community you're marketing towards. You can go into the product analysis and see what the number one breakdown is. And then you can literally create that actor avatar, give it a script, but also, you can clone yourself too. So I can go in there and take a picture of myself, make it look realistic, write the scripts. And if I don't have time to record a 60-second video, I can use myself. So especially if you have the idea, you don't want to set up the camera or whatever, it's crazy how you can just go in there, it clones your voice and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Are you okay? I'm missing something here. I'm not paying attention. So. No. You can create an avatar. You can look like anyone.
Yeah.
You can clone any voice you want. Anyways. That's great. That is great technology.
Well, most of the sites, including AI, like YouTube, TikTok, and all them, you have to tell them it's AI. You can't pretend that it's real.
Because I've seen that on Facebook. It says like includes AI imagery, and but that is cool also that they're letting you just have to put the notification on there, and they're letting people do that, because I know it's this maybe at one point, before they flesh this out fully, people are just getting banned for using AI. But if they allow it, then that's like, all right, we know, they know now, we're all on the same page. This is marketing,
the thing is, and I know that people are like, oh, I hate it, I want this, we're going to lose our jobs. So efficiency of resource allocation and resources is really important. And unfortunately, when you have an economy that's mismanaged resources and they're going out to places they shouldn't be, that's attached to real humans. So like people end up getting like laid off, and they're like, oh, I got laid off from my job because of AI, or because of, I was an actor and now they just create this. And I used to design commercials and now whatever. But the way I look at it is everybody now has access to this. So before, if you wanted to launch a product and you couldn't get your foot in the door, people didn't like you or they didn't want to work with you because of whatever reason, and there's different ones throughout history and different cultures. Now you have the capability to go online and say, okay, I'm going to sign up for this thing. This is going to allow me to create a product. This is going to allow me to work on the marketing. This tool is going to look at other marketing, and I can work with a marketing agency globally to create the marketing, to create the product. Now I don't have money to hire actors because they charge X amount of dollars per month. Well, now the money I save on actors using the AI, I can sell the product. Now I can get a product into people's hands for much cheaper. The product becomes cheaper, supposedly more cost effective, and the resources are being utilized more. So it's like everybody and their brother, like for a long time, not everybody, but a lot of people were like, oh, I'm going to be rich and famous and become an actor or whatever.
Yeah.
And
well, now you can be rich and famous by training AI to create actors.
Exactly. So I like that the world is moving to the, so, all right, everybody's looking at like them, not to get too philosophical here, but as far as AI, people watch The Matrix and they're worried that we end up in AI controlling us in these bubbles with whatever, and you can't tell reality from, and if you learning AI and using AI like I do, and I've become comfortable with it, it feels like, you remember the architect that created the Matrix? You know what I mean? You can be that architect too. So people don't realize like the architect is a job too. Like you can be one of the NPCs, but you can also be an architect that creates this stuff. And I'm really enjoying learning how to work with it as an assistant and as a tool and a gather data. I don't have a Moltbot yet, but I'm really enjoying all this stuff that makes this research and this stuff so much easier. And I can see people in the future, especially young kids that jump on this quicker, solving really big global problems, adding a lot of value to community, getting rewarded. The problem is most people are still trying to do stuff that's 100-year-old system, and they're getting 100-year-old system results. And that's not going to help you survive.
Sense.
In my opinion.
No, I've got a there's one of libertarian friends on Facebook. Shout out Sean. He when I posted about losing my job, he recommended specifically to check out Claudebot
or Claude.com.
There was like whatever the forget what is it, maybe it's Claudebot, but it's like a program like you can. And when I was talking earlier about, training AI for programming, I don't know programming. He said, you literally don't have to know programming. It's like Claude Code or something like that, I think.
So there's a lot of different ones. So they have, so a couple of them. So Claude CLAUDE is like a ChatGPT site where the main one that everybody knows is just you type stuff in, it types stuff back, or you talk to it and it talks back. But within that, there's different like plugins of things that you can go into.
And that's what he's saying. He's like,
Claude,
you can create programming without knowing programming.
So Claude is a lot better at like language and modeling stuff, but there's something that's kind of called, I think they call it like vibe coding. And the idea is,
what he was saying.
Yeah, the idea is you can take your idea, tell it to the system, and the system knows how to code it. And you'll get like average coding for an average idea to bring it to whatever. And then if it pops off, like once you've got proofs of a concept, you're going to want to get real humans to go in and fix the coding because it's cutting and pasting stuff. Yeah. And we have a coding problem. I don't want to turn this into a whole coding thing, but we have a coding problem in this country and throughout the world because a lot of the people that were coding were fake coding, and a lot of the code is actually links to like URLs online that pull this data.
Okay, I've heard of
it. So it's not true coding. But my point was, if you're trying to start any of these businesses, you have a whole slew of tools that you can use when in the past you didn't have them at your fingertips. I mean, of course we have the internet, and we have video, and you and me are communicating right now. We don't have to meet in a real meeting hall. We don't have to rent a theater. The people here didn't have to buy tickets and drive and spend gas to come hear us talk and learn. And like when I grew up, that's what it was. Like when I wanted to learn about marketing or real estate or how to open a Subway franchise, I would read it in the newspaper. There would be a time and a date. I'd put it in my calendar. I would drive there and I would sit in a lecture hall, and a guy would get up on stage and they would start talking. And that's when you were like, is this a scam or not? And if it was a scam, you're like, well, I just spent an hour getting here. Let me sit through at least 15 minutes of the scam to see if it's really a scam. But now with the
free pizza or something, at least.
Yeah. Now with the internet here, I mean, even the ability to talk and have people live in the chat and everything.
Yeah, it's great.
It's such a huge resource saver, a spread of information. So I haven't heard from Chad. He's probably working. I mean, I know he is working, but he did say that he will be here for about 3 to 5 minutes. So about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mind if I run to take a leak real quick?
Yeah. I'll keep the fans entertained.
Sweet.
So, I first of all, thank you everybody for showing up. I'm going to have all the contact information below, which is the Wright Ideas, which is now this YouTube channel here. I don't know exactly where this is going to go. Broseph and I, recording our journeys. I've been working a lot with TikTok, a lot with AI, a lot with branding, a lot with understanding algorithms, which is really my, I enjoy it. And so I think, if I were to take those passions and add it to philosophy, that's what I would be creating content for. But I am really liking the fact that you can go online, and if people have a passion, if you're listening to this and you have a passion, something that you like, if it's comedy podcast, viewing this or whatever, you can take that data, you can translate it into something that goes online that other people can find, utilize, and get value from. And we didn't have that a couple of years ago, you know what I mean? And even a couple of years before that, your choices were like a baker, a butcher, a candlestick maker. And then it went a little bit further into like some white collar stuff. But now it's kind of come full circle where, but it's in the digital world because the corporations are slowly starting to be decentralized in a way. The platforms are still kind of centralized, and blockchain is solving that. But if you have a social media, you can get a following there. Instead of a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker, you can be like an eBayer, an Amazoner, and a comedian, and you can do that all digitally. And whatever your passion are, you are the content. So, yeah.
I just tagging on to the end of what you were saying, that you are the content. All these. Speaking of more decentralized social media things. I forget the names of them. I'll have to look them up and send them to you later. But it was a couple weeks back, or maybe like last week or so. Anyways, I was looking up other, new social media sites, because I was like, okay, TikTok was new at one point. And then I was remembering what you had said about TikTok sending you back in the day when you were
literally when TikTok Shop opened, they sent me a letter because I was on a list from online sales, and they said, hey, we know you're an Amazon seller, we want you to come sell on TikTok Shop.
Yes.
I went through all the data. They wanted my ID, and I was like, oh man, am I going to give all my information to China? And I said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. And I stopped. And I could have been in on the ground floor, but I was just like,
no, then but because of you saying that, like getting in on the ground floor at places, I was like, all right, let me look up if there's any other like live streaming creator sites that, maybe run parallel to TikTok, maybe that, and then, kind of looking at them and be like, all right, this one kind of fits the same TikTok niche. I'm not sure if this would be the same thing. And then other ones are like, oh, this one offers, like, there's one, I forgot what it is. Again, I'm going to have to look these up again, but it's like, you can interact with the people on it. Like the whole idea is that,
for selling,
you as a, well, because
I know there's what's not.
There's what not. That one's good.
There's another one called Lemon something that I keep getting sent. Lemon Tree. No, it's like Lemon Tree or something like that, which is like it's a branch off of TikTok where you can sell stuff like what's not. I think it's a TikTok's what's not.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. And then there's, I forget, this one wasn't a selling site. It was like a creator streaming. Yeah. I think it was more meant for like people that maybe like video game. I don't know, whatever. But again, I'll have to look into it and see also, because even if things are meant for one thing, then you can, if they have features that are beneficial to you, you can parlay that to help you. Like, for example, on TikTok, there's some coin sellers that not to keep going back to coins, but that because some of them they can't actually sell US coins through TikTok Shop. So what they do is they use the TikTok live stream as the avenue to sell the coins, and then they get the people's information down, and then say, all right, what's your Cash App, and then, or whatever, Venmo, etc. And then they bill them directly, and then they send them out afterwards. So even though that it's not built in, it's still something you can take advantage of, to sell your products.
This is kind of all in together here. I got an email from Walmart Plus, because when they started, Walmart Plus is basically Amazon FBA competition. So Walmart now allows people that are selling products to not only list them on the Amazon website, on the Walmart website, but Walmart will also hold the product for you, similar to TikTok. They're all copying.
Okay,
Amazon's
so that's why I've seen non-Walmart stuff on Walmart sites when I'm like, the hell?
Yeah, so like
this in the store.
Yeah, so I can go on Walmart. It's been out for a while, and I just never did it because I didn't want to branch off. And you can sell stuff just like TikTok, Walmart, and Amazon, and then send it to them. They hold the merchandise, and then when it ships, they send it for you. Well, just recently, I got another thing from Walmart, and they're like, "Look, we want to give you $100,000 credit. Please come sell on Walmart Plus." And you can still stay on Amazon. We'll walk you through it. We're going to give you a representative from a year. And they're not giving me $100,000. They're giving me $100,000 credit, meaning as I sell and there's fees and stuff associated with it for advertising or whatever, the first $100,000 is going to be written off. And I was like, I don't know. So then I'm subscribed to a couple of Substacks, and one of the guys that I really like sent out an email saying that inside Claude, inside ChatGPT, inside Perplexity, you're going to start being able to buy stuff. So when you're typing and asking for things or going through whatever, an ad is going to pop up on the side of the thing. And if you have your account linked, ChatGPT will purchase the thing you're asking about or recommend things about what you're asking that would help you, whether it's digital or hard products. And so you'll be able to shop right inside these search engines, similar to like people now don't go to Google as much or YouTube anymore and type in what they're looking for. They're going to TikTok and they're typing it in globally, and they're going into ChatGPT.
You telling me about that,
and all this stuff now. So they're kind of changing the, all it is you have this giant Google that's all the information. When you type something in, it's trying to give you pages of just that fine research.
Yeah.
When you do it ChatGPT, it's doing the same thing, except it goes through the algorithm of multiple things being in Google and stuff. Well, now Walmart in that Substack is going to be the #1 advertiser with ChatGPT to sell products. So now I'm like, oh, they want to give me 100K credit to sell on Walmart Plus, and ChatGPT is going to start integrating advertisement for Walmart Plus they're one of the first people to jump off and do this. And Amazon, I don't know Amazon's involvement. I'm sure as soon as they hear this, they're going to want to be involved unless Walmart already signed an exclusive. But then I was like, oh, maybe that is the incentive to start a Walmart Plus thing. And so sorry to keep going, but we're just making
no. That's great. I was going to say
also like I can't start chasing every shiny object that we come across. I have to have these goals that I focus on and streamline. So similar to what you were saying about trying to find the next thing and get involved in it and like look to the future. I was like, okay, Amazon still is the biggest marketplace. TikTok is right behind them for the biggest US marketplace, but it's definitely becoming the quickest
worldwide
global marketplace.
Yeah.
And if Walmart Plus is trying to compete with those two and they're advertising in ChatGPT, I think that TikTok Shop is eventually going to start advertising within ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and stuff like that for data. So I think we're on the right path. I do think live selling, interaction, and trust of individuals are the future. And the reason I'm really hyper focused on this 5K unlocking of TikTok is when you turn on the TV and you see a random individual, this random individual is trying to sell you a product, and they build a trust. And as the past couple of years have gone by, we've realized that these people are not trustworthy. They're good at manipulating individuals into doing stuff. As that gets decentralized back down to us, and you have stuff like Paul in the chat that does what's it, Phoenix 85 on eBay.
Yeah, Phoenix Sales 85 or something like that. Yeah.
Shout out people Paul. Trust him. They trust him as an individual and a brand, and they can reach out to him, talk to him. He's not George Clooney trying to sell you a book or whatever. Now, you and me start these things. We look for products that we trust and we think are valuable. We get them, we test them, we use them, we like them, we attach our reputation to them, and then we go live and we prevent these people. And if you can keep that, you build that reputation, that value within the community. Say, look, this is not something I use, or this is something I use. And I've compared it to a couple other ones that will remain nameless, but I do like this one. I would recommend this one. Now you can decentralize the value, credibility, and understanding of an individual that's actually touched and used the product and is incentivized to now go online and sell this live to people. And they can ask questions. So the commercial now, the commercial fills so many spaces. The old commercial is just tune in, watch, you're stuck. The new one is I can go to it.
I'm
and if I want to, and if I want to stay, I can. If I want to go, I can. While I'm there, I can ask a question, but I can also ask a question to a person that I trust and that I've seen do this before. And I know that they're going to react. And I can literally say, what's in that product? And I can say, look, I haven't personally tested it, but here, let me turn it around. Here's what the label says, read it. Let me read you the label. So now it's an interactive commercial in this live set. If you want to order it, I have a relationship with this person that sells it. They're giving me a 20% discount because I'm reliable. People trust me or whatever here. And if you do too, then go ahead. If you don't, you don't. And then I think this helps bypass this worry that people have with a social credit score, because
yeah.
You're creating your own social credit score that we used to call reputation before other people got involved. And if you have a good reputation and people like you and you're online, they can't attack you. So like, like in the past, like they could, come after your money, your family, your friends, whatever, and they can still kind of do that. But now if you have a reputation to take everything away from you, you can literally go online and say, hey guys, look what they did. I need help.
Yeah.
And now you have the reinforcement of that stuff. So anyways, that's all the reasons why I'm very, positive on forward moving looking of it. Yeah, I'm bullish on AI and I'm bullish on online shopping and global online shopping. And then just the last part, sorry, to everything that I've been thinking and working about this week.
These are great thoughts. So don't apologize.
I personally have been putting together a list of local people in my community that I can talk to and say, hey, you're Jim Smith and you are selling this thing locally in New Hampshire. I think it's a great product. Let me test it or whatever. Do you even know how to sell it online? No, I was going to put it in the store and start knocking in doors. It's like, okay, I can take this globally with me. Let's shake a hand. I can come in the studio. I can sit down and eat lunch with your family. And then I can go back to my house with a camera. You get 2,000 units ready because they're gone.
Yeah.
You can go online and take you can take something localized, that's selling localized, and then inject it into a global system. And I don't think we've ever had that power available to us like we have in such a decentralized manner.
Yeah.
With that, and then everybody that's actually involved gets paid.
Yep,
not just
every step of the way
that are the gatekeepers.
Yeah. It's not just a multinational corporation buying something for pennies on the dollar and then
Now eventually, and not to get too forward thinking, the social media sites like TikTok and all this stuff will disappear. And hopefully with the introduction of blockchain, your social media will be you.
Yeah.
And the search engines will be bringing you, like when people search online in these different platforms, they'll bring you to different individuals instead of different social medias. So to be very decentralized in that manner, and that way, you'll even be cutting out like the bottlenecks of the social media that has everybody under control right now. But anyways, I just got a message from Chad who's going to stop by, so don't go anywhere. If you're interested in gig economy stuff, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart, delivering groceries, concierge services, driving people around. Chad paid off all his student loans doing it. He does it full time. He's done it for 5 years and now. Like I said, he should be ready in about 10 minutes. And he can be here. So yeah.
Sweet, that's just the gig work stuff is the stuff I know the least about. Like I had mentioned a couple weeks ago, and I talked with you privately. I tried to sign up for Instacart at first, and I did find out that because I had asked my brother, I was like, hey, because he does like Uber and some of these other apps as well. I was like, did you ever get supplemental insurance for your driving apps? He's like, well, after I got in a crash, I did.
Yeah.
So I guess that part's not totally necessary. So I'm like, awesome, I'm good to go on that front. But so I'm gonna go back in the app and re-sign up and get on the waiting list, because when I had tried to sign up before, it said there's no availability in your area.
Well, it's good to get on the waiting list. Chad's going to talk about it in a few minutes, but I think he's going to recommend Spark, which is delivering for Walmart. And I got denied because there's some tricks to getting set up. And one of them is if you use your phone like I did, the app's broken. So it kept kicking me off after every section. So I filled out the whole thing and they said, you got denied. I said, why? It says, well, it took you 6 attempts to fill out the information. And I said, Yeah, because the app kicked me out 6 times, and
Bro,
like,
your
sorry.
app stinks.
Yeah. So there's ways to do that. What was I going to say about all the different? So anybody here that is ex-veteran or has a family member that's still alive that's a veteran, I would highly recommend, this not paid advertising or anything, is go over to USAA, which is basically AAA for veterans. And best service I've ever had by anybody. In as long as you don't skip a generation, you can always hand it down. So if, like, my father, I didn't find out about it until my father passed, and then I got a phone call from USAA asking me if I needed any assistance, help with the procedures or whatever. And so what happens is, if somebody in the military signs up, like a grandfather signs up that's still alive, immediately, even if they weren't a veteran or in the military, their kids can sign up, and then that allows their kids to sign up and their kids. So as long as you don't skip a generation, your great-great-great-grandfather could get you grandfathered in. Anyways,
Literally.
one of the best services I've ever used, and I can go on. No, I'm not saying the veteran loses their status, Paul. I'm saying if my father signed up to be USAA and I don't sign up to be USAA and I have a kid, they can't sign up for USAA because I'm not a veteran. But if I have an account, then they can use my account to sign up. But if you skip a generation, then you're out of the link, unfortunately. But anyways, the point of it is, I was able to go right on, and they actually have it set up where it says, are you about to do, like when I'm doing my insurance, and it has all the questions. When I wasn't doing rideshare or medical courier or whatever in my personal vehicle, I just hit off and it removed that from my insurance. It readjusted it. It gave me a refund and all that stuff. And then when I went back again, I literally went to that site and just clicked rideshare insurance. It added it back on or whatever. Now, my insurance is much cheaper than yours. I'm 50 with an older car that's paid off. And I've been a member of USAA. They give me discounts for bundling my umbrella insurance and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
my
nice.
car insurance is only, it's $108 a month for 10 months and then 2 months off for the year. And that's for 50, 100, that's for 50, 100, 300 with the rideshare insurance. So I don't know. They're very competitive. I'll tell you the last thing about USAA, and then I'll shut up about them.
No, totally fine. This is great to hear. My grandpa, both my
Amica,
grandpas
like Amica or whatever, those insurance companies will call me up and they say, hey, Mr. Wright, how's it going? We got a good insurance deal for you today. And like, oh, you do? He's like, yeah. Will you ever think about switching providers? And I'll be like, yeah, I have USAA. And they're like, oh, have a great day, sir. And they literally will hang up on you because they know they cannot like beat the thing, because basically it's hard to get into. But once you're in, it's like AAA for responsible people that, I mean, we won't get into the morals and ethics
cool. That's cool. That's very good.
Of military and all that stuff. But if you're in, it's a non-government, it's not a government program. It's an independent company that picked a niche of clientele that they want to work with. And that's the particular niche that they work with.
That's very good.
Yeah. Paul, I mean, Paul right here, treating me like gold for almost. Dude, they best customer service. Like when, like I said, my sister was with them since she got insurance. She's 5 years younger than me. I didn't know about it until 2018 when my father passed. And then they called me, and then I was like, oh, why haven't I been using them? Dude, they're like, any problem, call up, amazing. Anything you need to do, handle it. You can go to their website, get all the paperwork, pay everything digitally, sign up digitally, or you hit and you talk to somebody, and you talk to somebody that's a veteran they veteran hire too. So when you talk to somebody, you're talking to somebody in the country that knows what's going on. And the way that it's set up, like I literally got an email this year from them that says, oh, with everything that's going on or whatever, we're giving out interest-free loans if you need one for the next whatever. And then up to like $5,000. I didn't need it. But then the next thing was, and we're just looking over your insurance, and because of the good driving or whatever, we're going to be reducing it by X amount. And they just called me up and reduced my bill.
Preemptively.
Preemptively. Wow. Yeah. So top notch. top-notch company. Highly recommend if you're going to do.
I've had the exact opposite experience before.
Yeah.
Getting a letter and say, hey, guess what? You've done everything right, but due to your insurance is going up.
Yeah, like they are like I mean, I've never met anybody that had a bad experience with USAA. One, two, anybody that I've ever recommended them to that switched over, and then I don't see him for a while. It's like one of the first things they always bring up about, like, dude, remember how you told me to switch? Oh, dude, it's the best. I mean, seriously, like getting excited about insurance. Yeah. But anyways, we're way off topic now. So I will say, so Chad is very reliable, and I've known him for quite a few years, but Saturday is a really good day to work and make money.
Yeah.
So he was busy. He said, this is at 2:09. He said, I should be ready in about 10 minutes unless you want to reschedule. And I said, that's fine. Come on. So I should say, like, maybe he thought I meant reschedule, but
yeah. And I understand, like Saturday, yeah, great day to make money because most other people that have 9 to 5s Monday through Friday are off. And I mean, to let me air my financial sins out, but back when Beck and I were both doing pest control, but back when my wife and I were both doing pest control, basically how our schedules are is, we'd have one weekend where we'd only have Sunday off, and then the other weekend where we'd have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So it just alternates because, you got to have people working on Saturdays. So usually on the weekends where we had one day off, we were sick of driving around all day, especially, driving around in, traffic where everyone else is going. So we're like, screw going to Walmart. I'm going to do Walmart delivery.
Yeah.
And so, that's that we had a regular order, like almost, every other Sunday, and sometimes the other Sundays too, if we either worked extra days or if, we had other stuff going on the weekend and then we just didn't end up getting to the store. But yeah, the weekends for that. And then as well, I mean, also to air out more financial sins, I'm guilty of in the past ordering McDonald's breakfast when I
Oh, I don't do any of the DoorDash. I've never used DoorDash or Grubhub. I was away on a trip and I was staying in like a motel somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was trying to like locate a vegan meal that I could go drive to go eat. And I couldn't figure it out. So I downloaded Grubhub and I typed in the food because you can search by food there from the restaurant.
It's convenient.
And then I still didn't get, I ended up just going to the grocery store. But anyways, I deliver like a couple times a week because I want to keep the referral things going. If you guys are looking for, I'm going to fix it up. But if you guys go to the Wright Ideas page, my link tree, I'm fixing it. I have a link if you want to get in and get some benefits from Instacart. I think you're going to get a bonus, a sign-on bonus if you complete a certain amount of orders. But I'm working on a list. I want to put together a PDF of all the rideshare, all the gig app stuff on one page and where to go and where to sign up because they're very region oriented. Not all of them are national or even global, but national, at least for this podcast. And so I'm slowly putting together that, and eventually I'm going to have a spreadsheet up on that link tree as well with all those. And I've gone through the different ones. Like when they first started, I used to sign up for everything, go do them, and then make a review video on it for YouTube.
Nice.
And so I was doing all this stuff. And over the years, people make fun of me because, like, I will deliver. I'm doing the medical courier stuff right now. And they'll be like, oh, you're still like delivering groceries and doing medical courier. I did the medical courier stuff the other day, which I went from Concord, New Hampshire up to the Canadian border, there and back. Just the medical stuff alone for one of the days was like $300. But then I added the Instacart grocery delivery to that day and made another $250. So by the time I got home, I was down $60 for gas for the round trip, but I had made $500 for the day sitting in my car listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And then I also have the Amazon store that day. They made another couple $100 in profit that's spinning in the background. And I would prefer to have more of a business where I'm creating a little bit more value than that. I find the medical courier stuff very rewarding. I don't really want to get into it here. But you can, if you're somebody that's working in 9 to 5 and you're a little bit afraid to make that jump, like I've been reaching out to more courier companies to get more contracts. And I should be able to, if I really wanted to focus on it, I could stack 2 or 3 daily curries that would be between $100 and $200 each, would allow me to make $300 to $600 a day delivering medical goods to people. And like I said, you're going to do wear and tear on your car, and you're going to have to pay gasoline, and you're going to have to figure out taxes and all that stuff. But it's very lucrative business where you can get it up to, $600 a day. Some people are working all week to make $600.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and they're not doing something where they feel valued. I'm actually meeting people face to face.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to avoid this thing. Some of it's because of HIPAA, but it's. We've talked about it, but I want to just talk about medical courier. I don't want to get into the clients, but it's very rewarding when you're working with the clients. Is all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, and I was just to tie into that. It's that's part of what's kind of I don't know. I guess I've been seeking towards because of I don't know. I think I mentioned in the past. Between 2015 to 2021, I worked at Utah State Psych Hospital, and now 2 years have passed, more than 2 years, so I can, I'm within HIPAA, or sorry, outside of, I guess, but that's been part of, like, especially as I did, pest control. The time I realized, the times that I felt better about myself, which maybe is a selfish thing to say, but I guess a better word to say is more fulfilled, is when during pest control I actually help people solve problems, solve their issues that they were having. Whereas a big, and part of the reason why I left the company was because I like to focus on that, which takes time, it takes effort, and sometimes it's just a matter of talking to the customer an extra 10-15 minutes, discussing different things, because sometimes it's just a matter of having people understand, it's not the end of the world. I can help you with this. This is and there's that human connection there that seems to be missing for, most of the again, part of as the pest control company I used to be at got more corporate, got more production oriented. Helping people.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, esteemed colleagues of the chat, Broseph, I'd like you to meet my buddy Chad Broseph.
Hello, Chad.
And give you guys a quick introductory, just to give you guys an idea of who's who. Broseph is very familiar with Tom Woods. Chad's very familiar with Tom Woods. So we all come from a libertarian background.
Yeah.
Here. Broseph and I started this channel to kind of like work on side hustles, gigs and stuff. He recently quit his job and started, dabbling in like eBay selling, garage sales and stuff like that. He went to sign up for Instacart and do some side hustle stuff. So we had an eBay expert kind of on, well, not kind of, well, a full-time eBayer that pays his bills and everything last week. Paul, he's in the chat right now. And I thought it'd be good to have what I would consider an expert in the field of gig, apps, economy, creator of GigTube podcast and the Gen X His and Her podcast, Chad.
His and Hers Gen X.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Chad. Would you like to introduce yourself? My name is Chad.
I think you just did.
Yeah. Perfect. So were you out working today? I know Saturdays are really busy.
No, Saturday is my off day.
Oh,
it's
really?
actually really slow here on Saturdays.
Is it because of the competition, or you think?
Probably. Yeah.
I am part-time Instacart as I got back into it. It's pretty much the only app I use. I have Roadie, DoorDash, and Instacart. And I just started getting into some of the medical apps, which if I figure out any of them, I'll give you a review on them. But for the viewers and for Broseph and stuff, if you had just quit your job and you're getting back into the market of like gig economy and stuff, you said like you're really making a lot of money with Spark. What would you recommend for the top the top gig and apps that people should download and get involved with if they want to make like decent money with the freedom?
Well, every market is different, so what's popping in my market might not be popping in your market, so the only way to really know is to just sign up for everything and it's just trial and error. I mean, I would say Walmart Spark is probably going to be good pretty much anywhere because there's Walmarts everywhere.
Yep.
And people use Walmart. Instacart can be good depending on the city. It's probably better in like bigger cities. Actually, well, I don't know. There might be more orders in big cities, but it seems like they slash the pay nationwide. So it's like cheap pay in the middle of nowhere isn't so bad, but like somebody in like Manhattan or Chicago can't get by on like $4 base pay.
Well, we've been talking about this when I got back on Instacart. The first thing I did was reinstate my gold status so I could see as many orders as possible, which is you have to do like 20 orders within a time frame.
Right.
And I thought immediately I would be going south into the larger cities to make money. But when I go south in the larger cities, it's like $8 orders or whatever because the competition is so high. I actually found if I go an hour and a half north up into Vermont where they're in dire need of shoppers or whatever, I was going in and I can make like $40 an hour delivering stuff. And the competition is so low. Probably even she didn't even say it on the channel. But if you do, use my link if you're going to steal my customers. I can take an order, deliver it, open the app, and the same orders are still sitting there. It's crazy. Whereas typically, if you don't have early access and you see a good order, your phone will start vibrating because it's already taken before you can even click on the order.
Holy cow.
I'm mentioning Spark earlier, and I got denied because my app kept crashing as I signed up for Walmart Spark. Is this something that you've heard about, Chad? And do you know if there's a workaround for that?
No, I think it sounds like that's like a anomaly that only happened to you.
Well, I went on Reddit and there were some other people complaining, and then I emailed Walmart and they were like, well, if you have an old phone that's crashing, we don't want you to do it. You only get 4 attempts to sign up. So
what you should do is see if you can get a new phone number and use a different email address.
Do you think it's worth the pricing with the for the income? Because I have been seeing I watched some TikToks on it today where a woman got up and got there at start and worked all day. And most of the orders were just delivery, no shop, and they were like $29.
Yeah, but it's different from city to city. What city was she in?
I have no idea. I know here, if I open up Roadie, it'll have Amazon. It'll have Walmart orders on it, and it'll be like 10 orders for like $60. And then I look at the mileage, and it's like 3 hours.
.com route. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. It would only work if I was already out in those areas. but also they have restrictive time limits on Roadie. So not only do they want you to take these orders that are all over the place, but you can't stack them with other things because they're time sensitive. And if you divide it out, and then after wear and tear and gas, you're making like $8 an hour. I don't even know who's taking those orders, how they're even profitable.
Roadie is trash. I deleted that app ever since I got rid of my van. If you don't have like a van or an SUV, it's rather pointless. And even if you do, it's still pretty pointless.
That's the reason I take them. The heavy orders, the heavy pay, because I have the SUV. If you can get on them, the ones that are just under, if you would need like a trailer for them. I had one a couple months ago, way up in Vermont. It was from a Home Depot. It was less than 5 miles away. It was $120, but it was like 50 2x4s that I had to stack in the back, and then I had to unpack them all. But it took me less than an hour to do. So that was like the God order. It's like, oh, I'm already up here. I'm already doing this. I'm never going to see something like this ever again.
Roadie was meant for people who have like a box truck and like they just have extra room in their truck and they're going that way anyway.
Yeah.
But like around here, Roadie pays like about 50 cents a mile. And it'll be like from Sanford to Daytona Beach for like $12. And that's like 40 miles.
Yeah.
You know, it's like garbage. Or like even going across town would be like tires. Going from like one mechanic to another mechanic, or like from a tire store to a mechanic or vice versa, like 4 tires for like $8. Like I'm not, even if they're brand new clean tires, it's still it's like with Curry, they're supposed to load and unload your car for you, but with Roadie you have to do all the schlepping. So yeah, Roadie is garbage. I mean, it might be good in some cities. Like I know some people have said they made good money on Roadie doing like luggage delivery from an airport to the person.
Yeah.
I've seen that in Orlando and Daytona Beach. But again, it's like 50 cents a mile. So
so I did some research into Roadie recently because they added the XD blocks, but then I got into this rabbit hole where this guy was like, oh, I'm making really good money doing deliveries from Roadie. And I was like, how? And then he was showing that he's doing luggage delivery and lost item delivery. And I couldn't find it in mine. So I'm like, must not be in my area. But he went on to explain, you have to build a reputation and do a bunch of their orders that don't pay very well. And then you finally break through some imaginary wall where another tab of scheduled stuff will open up. And then you can start scheduling different pickups where you're basically going to an airport and getting luggage. And he was like, with those, not only is it decent pay, but the tips are usually really good because you're returning somebody's lost luggage with like all their personal belongings. So they're very happy to see you. And then they added the XD blocks, which is basically you can go and fill your car up with 100 to 400 packages. And those blocks are paying like $2 to $250. And you can double them. Oh, they're paying like 100, but you can double them up. So you can take 2 blocks if you have the room, and that would be.
I've never seen any of those around here. I've seen like maybe like a 10 stop route that was like $50 or something. Like it.
Well, I was going to say my closest XD is in Connecticut. So if I could go there, I could check out the thing. So I do have multiple stop Roadies, but you have actually XD blocks there.
I haven't seen them in a long. I saw them like around Christmas, but I haven't seen them since then. Gotcha. And I deleted the app, so
yeah.
Like for me, Roadie. The only thing Roadie is really good for, we do CVS deliveries.
Yep.
And if it's only going 2 or 3 miles, and it'll pay like $6 or $7, so it's basically the same as a DoorDash order. But it's not worth it because like with DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, like you accept it and you start on it right then and there. With Roadie, like it's almost like you're putting in a bid, and it's like you have to wait 10, 15 minutes to see if you got it. And like I could see if it was like a big baller pay, but it's like $6 or $7 to deliver somebody's prescription, and it's like, what's the point of that, you know?
Yeah, and I have had it where I'm heading towards like a Home Depot for an order that's like $50. I'm like, oh, this is great. So I accept it, but it's like, we'll get back to you, let you know if you want.
Yes.
So I'm like,
Little
I guess I'll drive to Home Depot with the idea that I won the bid, and then you just never win. So you're like, okay, well, yeah. Well, besides that, I mean, Broseph, do you have any questions of how you would get started for Chad, since we have an expert here in a novice?
Yeah, I guess a few kind of initial questions. If you don't mind me asking, do you operate more in kind of a rural or city area? Because I'm over here in the Denver area in Colorado. So yeah.
You should follow my friend Steve at Rideshare Rodeo podcast, because he's in Denver too.
Oh, nice.
And he said he makes like 90% of his living just doing curry now.
Well, I heard it's really good. I signed up because I want to get on, because they have long hauls too. So I wanted to sign up for the 100-mile plus ones, because I'm already doing some of them with the medical couriers, and I wanted to stack them on top of each other.
Yeah. The area I'm in is funny. Like, I'm 20 miles north of Orlando. So it's mostly suburban.
Yeah.
But we do have like a rural, like if I just go out of my county in any direction, it becomes pretty rural. And sometimes those orders can be, especially like on Sundays, people who live out in the middle of nowhere order Walmart or Instacart, and they usually tip pretty well. And so it's kind of a pain, because like it'll be like 15 miles from the store to the person, but it's more like 30 miles because you have to come all the way back.
Yeah.
Like, you're going out to the middle of nowhere, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
And and like Sanford is an interesting mix, because it's like we have like trailer parks, hoods, but then we also have like mansions and townhouses and regular old suburban houses, and
just normal neighborhoods. And then when you drive and you're like, wow, holy cow. Yeah. It's kind of the area in Aurora, just outside of Denver where I live. Yeah. It's like I live in just a HOA, like golf club, neighborhood. And then you go out east, it's the boonies, and you either get trailer parks or the really nice mansions. And then you go out the other way, and you're just in Denver. So, but that's good insight, because I'm specifically, I seem to be in a spot, and this is a thought I'd have, that if I can get some orders, again, I'd signed up for Instacart, no availability, going to go get on the waiting list for those and all the other apps. But I seem to be in a spot where, if, it's, accessible for grocery stores that are about maybe 10 minutes away, but kind of a hub for all those guys further out, that like you said, probably don't want to go shopping on Sundays. So
what kind of car do you drive?
Right now, this is the other issue. I haven't signed up for any ride share services specifically. It's a Volkswagen Beetle. So just 2-door, not a whole ton of room, unfortunately, but enough for groceries at least.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you can't even do Uber or Lyft if you only have a 2-door car. You have to have at least a 4-door car.
Yeah, that's something I've been looking into, trying to look around for with seemingly don't exist anymore. Cheap cars that would be accessible for, or rather acceptable for Uber or Lyft. But
I would go on Facebook or Auto Trader. See if you can find a used Prius. You should be able to get a Prius for like 10 grand. You should be able to get like a 2014 maybe, for, if you can. I don't know what your budget is, but
the guys that work. So I work at 2 medical companies, and they're actually right across the street from one another. And I'm the main guy at one, and I'm the absolute bottom guy on the one across the street. But the guys across the street that do it full time all have the Prius hatchbacks that get 50 plus 56 miles to the gallon or whatever. I think it's maybe the S50 series or whatever. And they were all making fun of me because my car does not get good gas mileage at all. But I can put big orders in there. So like yesterday, I was getting, something they couldn't fit, maybe 3 times of what they could fit in their thing. And I get paid either $1.20 a mile plus $12 per stop. or whichever is higher. And so like yesterday, it was just a cluster down in one area. So it took me 45 minutes to get there. But once I got there, it was just 12, 12, 12, 12, 12 and back. So I think it worked out to be like $180 for about 2.5 hours of delivery. We talked about this a little bit, Chad, but CB Driver, I think it's called, and a couple of other landing pages have a lot of courier work for either independents or medical stuff. And if you can figure out a way to stack them, I think the main issue I'm finding with the courier stuff is you can find a job for a day and it'd be like $180, but then that's the only thing you can find for that day. But it's a great way to start the day, because if you're trying to make $200 for the day, or, you're like, okay, I just made that today. Now I just got to go get my gas back from doing whatever. And now I've made my $200. Or if you're going to try to make $250, or I'll go try to make it $200 doing this, and then I can take tomorrow off to work on another project because I made 2 days worth of work.
How many miles are you driving to get that 200 though?
It depends. So like yesterday, I only drove 45 minutes away and back, right? To get that 200. But then the day before, when I made 375, I had to go to the Canadian border and back. So that was 155 miles one way for 375. So that was, over 300 miles. But that one was worth it, right? So, but those are big days. On an average day, like I said, it's hard to find companies that you can stack. So I have multiple medical things, but one of them is like, well, I need you here for 3 p.m. for a pickup. But then I have a 1 p.m. here, and they're an hour away, but also have to do the drop off. So I could rush from here to there, get them, and then start doing them all. And that would be a $400 day, but I would be redlining the entire day.
Yeah.
And if it snows, I'm in trouble or whatever. But I'm trying to figure out how to organize that, and then I'm going to make some videos on it. There's lots of people that talk about it online, but they don't get into the nitty gritty of how to actually do it, because it is much more difficult than going online and whatever. Now, you can get into government contracts, but if you guys know me, I do not want government contracts, but people are doing government contracts that pay very well. I personally wouldn't do them for moral reasons. It feels like theft, but they pay well and they're repetitive, and you're delivering for Medicaid and Medicare. Yeah.
Have you calculated how much your gas costs per mile?
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. My car stinks, which is, I didn't want to do this full time. And so I've been balancing it. So I had created not an app, but I created a project within ChatGPT that's actually been pretty well refined now. And I actually make more money hourly after wear and tear and gas on the Instacart than I do with the medical courier. But the medical courier is just so consistent. But if I could just stack one other job on top and grow that medical courier client list, it would far surpass. Because like for example, I have one contract that's $1.20 a mile plus $12 per stop, and I have another one that's 96 cents a mile plus $15 to $25 per stop. But the problem is, every time I get one of them, I'm going northeast. They want me to go this, and so I can't take it. So I'm like, you have to give it to somebody else. But when they do line up, I'm making $2 a mile plus the stops in between, and it's a huge day. So if I could figure out a way to stack them properly, medical courier is definitely very profitable, and it's not going away anytime soon. I mean, maybe if they get automated cars and stuff, but I'm delivering to very rural areas, to people in immediate need of, I don't know how much I can tell, but basically my main contract is people go get chemotherapy and then they come home and they still got the port in. I deliver them the special foods and stuff that they can eat while they're on chemo. And medicine that goes in the port that a nurse comes in and gives them the vitamins and nutrients. And so it's time sensitive, and because it only lasts, it only holds 24 hours. And it's got to be refrigerated. So I have to drop it off within a window of when they come back. So then the nurse can, administer it or whatever.
Are you delivering to like the mountains and like dirt roads and
Yeah.
You probably need an SUV for that. Like you have like the chains on your tires or
no, the Volvo is really good in the snow. And it's all-wheel drive, big. It's the truck. It's the XC90 SUV. But like I said, some days, like yesterday morning, $180 minus like less than a quarter tank of gas to shoot down and do, 10 deliveries. I'm like, this is great. But then the next day, it's a little bit different and it takes longer. If I could stack two, it's definitely the place to go. It's independent. It's growing. People are getting older. They're living longer, and they're doing more in-home care. But right now, I have to time it perfectly. There's plenty of contracts out there. It's just hard to stack the contracts. So I've had, just by making phone calls and emails, I've had multiple people say, yeah, we'll onboard you right now, because I like the apps, right? But the barrier of entry is low. So there's people somehow taking $6 orders to go 20 miles. I don't know how, but I have to be, for what I'm doing, you have to be drug-free, pass all drug tests. You have to get the HIPAA certification. I may need to get hazardous certification soon. So there's barriers of entry where not anybody can do what we're doing, which makes it a little bit more lucrative. But I'm also rural. So if you guys live in a city, you might be able to find contracts a little bit easier that are stacked because there's more demand.
I just
spread out.
I just emailed you a spreadsheet I made a couple years ago when I was applying for medical courier jobs.
Okay.
And there's like hardly anything available around here. If you want to show that on the screen, but
I'm pulling.
I used to use CB Driver all the time. I probably should start looking at that again.
Well,
like,
I signed up
for the big car anymore, so
I signed up for the CB Driver, Indeed, and like Job Courier, I think it's called, a couple different ones. And so I get the notifications when new ones come up. But I also called the local hospitals, the local pharmacies to see exactly, what was going on. Is this probably visible for the home viewer? Let me take a look at it. Yeah, for them watching.
Zoom in a little.
Yeah, zoom in a bit.
It won't. Yeah, I can't zoom in. I guess I could download it and then zoom in.
Yeah.
So
that was from like the summer of 2023. The only medical courier job I did was Med Zoomer, and that one sucked. Like they had hardly any jobs for me, and when they did, it was like they don't tell you how much you're gonna make, and you don't find out how much you make until like a week later. But it's like I need to know up front.
Yeah.
So
why else am I going to take this?
I signed up for Med. I signed up for Med Zoomer, and I didn't care for it compared to the other stuff. So this is a little bit better. This is the actual.
All right, here we go.
Spreadsheet. And
you can forward that to him if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. So I actually. I don't know what I can say, but I actually do work for a couple of the companies here on the screen. And I've reached out to them, and what I found is basically send them an email, sign up on their website, call and talk to them, and ask to talk to dispatch. And between that, pretty much everybody that I talk to, once you tell them I'm certified, I can pass a background check, I'm reliable, this is this, and this, and this is on work, they say yes, but it's because they have a pecking order. So like the top guys are going to get all the orders first. And as they go down to the bottom, you'll get it. And then you have to prove yourself and people have to quit. So or the other thing is they'll call you and I'll already be out on a route and they're like, hey, can you do a this? We'll pay you this. And it's good pay. And I would do it, but I'm like,
But
I'm
you're
already
en
an
route.
hour away doing other deliveries. So it's hard. A lot of this stuff is like stat work. So they need it immediately done because there was a hospital call or something. And it's hard to get the routes. The guys that have routes, they're getting paid like $200 to drop off like 30 orders to a pharmacy that's a mile up the road.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do a couple of them and they're getting paid per drop off, but there's 30 drop offs and one floor manager signing for them. They never want to give up those jobs because they're cushy. They're driving a mile they're picking up the drugs. They're driving a mile and a half. They're making $250 and signing the paperwork. So like, it's hard to get those routes.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So
my unfortunate big issue for this stuff is that I have Crohn's disease. So I take, medically prescribed cannabis for my, unfortunate autoimmune intestinal disease. So, it's not, I'm not, I'm obviously, yeah.
It's ridiculously easy to beat a piss test. All you have to do is you just go to like the smoke store or like the porn store and you buy fetish pee. And it's pee, like you microwave it and then you stick it in your underwear until you get to the lab. Like they don't actually watch you pee. All you have to do is just, go because you go into a bathroom, close the door, and you just dump it into the container.
So I've heard of people doing that before, and because I used to do pest control, so I have 5 years of driving history under my belt, and with very I think ran a red light. They caught me on camera once, but other than that, great driving history, great no accidents, no nothing like that. So yeah, I'll have to look into that because I remember people saying that, when I was in my 20s, like, dude, you should do this. And then, but hearing that it actually works from someone who's not just, a burnout, for lack of a better word. That's good to hear.
If you're medical, if it's a medical, like a medicine, if it's considered a medicine and it's only weed, some companies might not care, and weed's especially also legal in Colorado, right? Yeah. It's up to each individual company, but you might be okay, and might be able to.
Yeah, I think the test is if you can beat the drug test, then like they know you're crafty enough to do the job.
Fair enough. You're clever. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. No, and then that's just one of those things. Again, I'd always heard, bro, just do this, but it had been from people who, again, not judging people, but look far less trustworthy, and aren't nearly as successful. So, but yeah, I'll have to definitely look into that. Appreciate it. But
I'm looking at this list here. It's pretty good. The ones that I recently looked into that are that I don't see on this list, and let me reshare it for you guys. It's an app called Senpex. SENPEX courier. And they mostly do medical, but they also, I believe, started doing auto parts as well. But I've gone through quite a few of these. Some of these I don't know. I'm going to go back through these and then add to this list. Maybe when I do that, I'll share it back with you. And I'm also going to try to put these in my Linktree because the Linktree offers the ability to upload spreadsheets and PDFs so people can download them there so they can have them.
Oh, nice.
Seriously, if you want to blow up on YouTube, doing videos about medical courier routes, like there's these two channels. I forget their names. Like one's this black dude with a shaved head, and he gets like 6 figures on every video because like all his videos are like make $1,000 a day, And another one is a white dude with a beard in Alabama. I think Lindsay is his name. I forget. But yeah, like it's very clickbaity because their whole channel is about make ridiculously large sums of money doing hardly any work, And it's like And it's like they keep repeating like the same medical courier jobs over and over.
Yeah, I saw that. And TikTok's the same way. It'll be like a guy in the back of like he sets his camera up so it's sitting on the merchandise in the like box truck, and it's like it's filmed over the top of the stuff that he's packing, and he's like packing it, and then he voiceovers. It's like, yeah, man, woke up today. This haul is going to be $2,000. It's going to take me about an hour, and I'll drop it off and I'll make that money because that's how we do medical courier. Here's the top 3 companies that I would recommend. And then he's like MedZoomer and like whatever, all the ones that when you sign up for do nothing and are paying $6 a pop. And like you said, it's got 100K views on it, and it's all lies.
Well, Dave, you can just the things you were, like, if I can manage to stack them this way, just present it as a matter of fact, stack them this way, and you can make $100,000 a day.
Yeah, this list
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, you can stack regular gig work. That's what they call it, dirty multi-apping.
Dirty multi-apping.
It's like when you're doing Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats at the same time. And like I've done that where you pick up like 2 or 3 different orders on 2 or 3 different apps from the same restaurant at the same time, or like the next restaurant is on the way to the first drop off. So it's like if I'm picked up, Chipotle, and then there's Qdoba down the road for Grubhub. You can depending, like, as long as it's not going like in the opposite direction. Although I find that most customers actually don't really pay attention to their phones or their screens. Like, because when I mean, it's very rare that I order delivery, but when I do, I'm just watching my phone. Like I can see the driver on the map.
I do. Yeah. When I used to do delivery, I do the same thing. And I think I saw people doing what you're saying, because I'm like, yeah, that's along the way, but why is he stopping in this parking lot, 2 blocks away? And probably because my neighborhood is about 10 minutes away from everything else. He's like, yeah, of course I'm going to go pick up everything I'm going to need for this neighborhood first. So that makes sense.
I've seen my drivers clearly doing that. Like where I'll like text somebody like, hey, you passed my house. And I'm like, oh no, I got another delivery. Same thing like with Uber and Lyft is, like I'll pick up a Lyft ride, and then the Uber pickup is near the Lyft drop off. So like I'll turn Lyft off, and then, that way, as soon as I drop that person off, another ride doesn't come in.
Yeah.
It's a finesse thing. It takes you have to know your area really well. You have to like know the traffic and how long is it going to take to get there. And,
which fortunately I've already driven for a living, so I've already have that under my belt.
It stresses me out. It might be easier in the city where things are close by, but for me, when I'm a little bit more rural, nothing's really going to the same area typically. Like even when I'm doing the long hauls up and back, I'm like, okay, the next major city is Lebanon. Let me see if there's anything to pick up in Lebanon. On
hey Dave,
Instacart
can you bring up
Roadie.
like Google Maps or Google Earth so you can so we can like get a frame of reference of where you are?
Yeah, I'm here in Lebanon.
No, I'm not showing you my house.
Israel.
Good try, FBI.
You have to show us your house, but seen another state at least.
Everybody knows that I'm in New Hampshire, but I'll just show you. I'll pull it up here.
Yeah. To be fair too, when you did the other week, when you did bring up the map showing like here, if I'm going this direction, this makes sense, but if I'm going here, then that doesn't.
So I'm out of Concord, which is pretty much in the middle of New Hampshire, and our major routes to go north is 93.
Can you zoom in
north? No. If I zoom in, it gives away my personal information.
Well, hang on, I'll zoom in on my end. Okay.
Yeah.
If I could log out, maybe I could. But anyways, so I'm in Pennacook, right? Everybody knows that I live around here, right?
41 Terrell Park Drive.
That's not my address. That's one of the
Everyone talks
pharmacies.
him.
That's one of the pharmacies that I pick up from in whatever. But
It's
anyways,
funny, New Hampshire, a lot of the cities have the same name as cities in upstate New York, where I'm from.
oh, they have, yeah, it's very not
Cannon,
creative. Like
Lebanon.
Portland, Oregon was named, Portland, Seattle was named after Portland, Maine, but they almost named it Boston.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's like, yeah. So when I'm quoting jobs and I'm here, it's very slow to go like, this is going to be less miles to say to go over to Rochester from here. But because it's all back roads, it's going to take me twice as long. So when I'm quoting a job, I either try to get twice as much money or I don't take it. But I can go this speed limit on this road here is 70. So I can go north to south pretty quickly. And then if I'm going to Vermont, this is 89 that goes across here. This is 65 speed limit, which is also pretty quick, and it's a straight shot. But say
there's a Sanford, I don't know if that's Maine or New Hampshire. That's funny.
But I will be here, let's say, and I'll have to deliver here. Let me pick I can't type it in because then it'll also show my address. But anyways,
use a different browser.
Yeah, I don't have a different browser.
I use Brave too, but
anyways,
I do.
So say I was going to go up here to go to
incognito.
show. Oh yeah, I can go into incognito. Live streaming. New
you have a Mac?
No.
Oh, looks like a Mac.
No, I have my Windows 11 set up in a particular way.
Yeah.
All right. So say I'm here in Concord, New Hampshire, and I got an order that's going to go up to Burlington, Vermont. This is how I would take my day. So I'm going to go, I got a 3-hour drive up here, and I might have a stop in Lebanon. So this would be 152 miles. If I only had one delivery, which I probably wouldn't, that would be 152 times 1.2 plus 12. So this would be like $194 if I had just one delivery to do this whole thing. So it'd be 200 minus gas or whatever. But what I would do on the way is, one, I would call my other dispatchers in Concord and say, hey, I'm going to Burlington. Do you have anything in Lebanon, Rutland, Middleborough, Montpelier, but mostly Lebanon and Montpelier? And if they do, and I got a Canada Montpelier, I'll get paid 96 cents to drive this part up here and $1.20 from the other route. So I get almost $2 per mile up to here. Then once I do that drop, I got to go the rest of the way, do my last drop off for like $1.20 a mile. But in the meantime, because they don't have deadlines a lot of time, it's just by like 10 p.m. at night, I'll open up the Instacart and there'll be like grocery delivery and say Lebanon, and I'll look ahead and I'll pick that up. And I run that through the AI, and it's got to be making at least the same hourly or roughly. So I might do this route up and back, and it'll take me 6 to 8 hours for a full day.
Yeah.
And I'll make the 2 to 250 on the medical, depending on how many drops I have. If I just had one, it would be around 200. But then it's all the Instacarts that I can grab. In Montpelier lately, I've been making about $45 an hour.
How far is it from Lebanon to Montpelier?
This is an hour. This is 45 minutes, and this is an hour and a half. So if I go from my house to Montpelier, I got to drive an hour and a half. And if I did that for 8 hours, it would be, I guess, about $360 delivering groceries, but minus another 3 hours of commute. So it'd actually be 360 divided by 11.
I wonder if it'd be.
So it'd be like $30. So if I moved up there, it'd be more worth it.
I wonder if that's what I was going to say. It might be, maybe you move to Lebanon. Seems to be pretty central.
I've been trying to move to Lebanon. This is the New Hampshire border. This is Vermont. This is Connecticut. I've been trying to move to Lebanon, but it's a retirement community. So this is the highest, one of the highest places to live. It's got the best hospital, the best housing, all the rich people or whatever outside of there. But anyways, so that's how I set my days up. If I could get multiple courier stuff there, you can easily, figure out a way that you're I don't know if legal is the right word, but you're stacking multiple jobs.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I don't really. I had a question for Chad, because this is another specialty of his within the niche, but you can go first, bro.
I was just going to say, I'm like, I'm just not talking a lot because I'm just soaking this all in, taking notes and stuff. Cause this is, great information. Cause it seems that's as I previously looked in kind of the gig work, I was like, wow, who's doing this? Like it doesn't, because it for some of the things, especially surface level, subreddit scanning, it's like some of this stuff doesn't, especially in my area, doesn't seem very beneficial. But then, this is, not to just reiterate what you guys have already said, but this seems to be, the key of making the money here, of not just, not just dedicating to one app, but just to diversifying and looking, seeing not only the best pays, but also how can I, stack these multiple apps together in a way that, doesn't hurt my, I guess, specific app reputation as a driver, but also that benefits me, that makes, the courier work actually worth it. But, because again, I do apologize. I am a noob at this. So if you're approaching this from a very elementary angle here at this point.
If you want to do like more courier work, I would check out Gig Geezer and Cars and Cribs. Those guys, their channel is mostly about like box truck delivery, courier type work. But if you want to do like on-demand stuff, like Instacart, Spark, Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, like there's tons and tons of YouTube channels about that.
Checked out your channel too, because I was like, wow.
Check out Nugs. Nugs is great. Definitely check out Rideshare Rodeo, even though the name of his show is Rideshare. Like he hardly ever talks about actual rideshare. It's just he's kind of like a news and commentary. He's kind of like the Tim Pool of gig tubers.
Okay.
He doesn't actually drive Uber or Lyft himself, not anymore, but he used to. And he's in Denver too. And that's Steve. He said he's the one. He's been on the curry train since day one, and he does tons of deliveries with curry. But I think if you're gonna do curry, you need like at least a 4-door car, if not an SUV or a minivan, because a lot of those things are big. It's their like construction equipment.
Gotcha. So it's like
engines.
You're hauling things. No, you're not just delivering small items. All right.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just stay in your own town, and I would definitely check out Spark and Instacart. Those are probably like and Shipped, although Shipped is garbage around here.
No, I've had Shipped is garbage around here too.
Yeah.
If you I sent you that screenshot the other day. It was like 5 miles for like $4.83 for an Instacart order. And I was like, I might just accept this just to kick the guy's ass that thinks that it's under $5 for like an hour's worth of work. And if you think those orders on Instacart are bad, open your Shipped app and look at theirs, because they're even worse than that. And they're like multiple stores. It'll be like $10 and they want you to go to like Home Depot shop, then go over to Target shop and then deliver it. And I'm just thinking, like, we don't really have that many illegals up here. So like, who's taking these jobs? Like, it's almost to the point where by the time the wear and tear and the gas and everything, I don't understand why they think it's profitable. The only thing I can think of, they have to be really efficient in stacking, and they're already heading in that direction anyways, were shopping in that direction anyways, because it doesn't make any sense why anybody would pick those orders.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. I wasn't going to totally bring it up, but yeah, Colorado is a sanctuary state, unfortunately. So there is, or for better, for whatever. But so because of that, you know, I had found when I was, you know, getting, you know, in years past, because we lived here about 5 years, you know, when we had got delivery orders, whether it's Walmart or DoorDash, whatever, it would, you know, usually it would very, very often, probably about 70-80% of the time was, you know, someone didn't speak English, blah, blah. And not that I care, but, you know, to the degree of, you know, now that I'm considering doing it, and then, or not considering, but, you know, planning on doing it, trying to sign up for these apps. When I'd signed up for Instacart, I saw, you know, no availabilities in the area. Join the wait list. I was like, all right, I'll do that. Still haven't heard anything from it.
Maybe you should just buy an account.
Buy an account.
Yeah. So
that's you can buy Instacart accounts.
Yeah, I mean, it's not legal, but that's how the illegals get all their accounts. Like my friend again, Steve, check out last couple episodes of Rideshare Rodeo. He's been doing videos on this about how there's people on TikTok that just like auction off Spark accounts, Instacart accounts, Amazon Flex accounts. Oh yeah, have you looked into Amazon Flex? That might be good. Amazon Flex used to be great for me, but they slashed the pay down to nothing, and like there used to be like 5-hour blocks that would pay over $100, and like now they're all like 3-hour blocks for like 60. It's not worth it.
I wanted to throw this up. So, all right. So with Instacart, when you're a gold member, you get discounts on Hertz, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and I said, if I use my Instacart discount of 10% on Hertz to rent a cargo van, then I could do the bigger orders on Roadie that pay like 50, 60, $80 for like an hour, but they're like heavy loads from Home Depot and stuff. So it's like pellet stove stuff or like, you know, big items. But when I went and I quoted it all out, it was like $200 a day to rent the thing. So like you need to make $200 just to break even. So if this was true, if you could rent it for like, not that I could find in my area, but if I could rent a cargo van for $150 a week, that would be pretty lucrative for some of the stuff that I've done in the past. But this hasn't been my experience.
I don't know how you would tell the app that you're using a rental, because they're going to want to see like they want to see the registration. They're going to see your insurance.
Well, the Roadie app allows you to, because I checked into it or whatever, because there was some loads that were like $120 profit, $120 pay that were at Home Depot. So I was like, oh, if I go to Home Depot and rent the truck, it's $19.99 plus whatever. Then I get the $120 order, and then I use the truck to do it minus the $20. But then it had to be back in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if it goes over, you got to do a 4-hour minimum when we work to this. I'm like, oh, I'll do 2 orders. But then by the time you work it out for like it's not a full 8 hours. They only give it to you for like 6 hours. You'd be working like the first $200 would just pay the truck. So I'm like, well, I'm right back to not having a truck.
Ground zero. Yeah.
But if you could rent a van for like $150 a week, if that's true, there's so much you could do. You could do couch flipping, which is very lucrative, furniture flipping and delivery.
Oh yeah.
I might even see if so at my old job, they had a couple vans that they were trying to get rid of. I'm going to see if it, like kind of transit vans that they previously used for pest control and stuff. So, you know, I'm gonna ask them if they're still trying to, because they were when I was working there, they were trying to get rid of them. I'm gonna check that out. Maybe check out. Have
you checked out TaskRabbit?
TaskRabbit. I had looked at it.
So these are the other ones. TaskRabbit, Observe. So it's observe, but instead of an E at the end, it's an A. And then BB, and then Mobi. Now, BB and Mobi are a little bit different because they pay you in points, and then you use the points to buy gift cards, but you can buy Amazon gift cards, gas cards, and stuff like that. So in Walmart cards, so you could probably figure out a way for groceries. But the field agent and TaskRabbit and stuff, a lot of times they're giving an observer is you're going to a location and you're taking photos of even inventory, merch, and doing an interview, and then you're getting paid for that. I did download it to my phone, and they all start like at $4, but then an hour goes by and they go up to like 5, then 6, and then like you check them the next day and it's like $30 to like go to the dollar store and take photos of things. But they were so infrequent, and everybody's basically like waiting out for them to raise higher and higher. And then as soon as they hit a certain thing, they start disappearing. So you got to pay attention to like what the going rate is in your area. But when you go to the store, you have to talk to the manager. And then if they're not around or they're hiding in the back, you got to wait.
Leo.
So I did like 2 of them, and it was like 3 pictures, and it should have taken me under like 5 minutes to do. But it took me 35 minutes to get the manager to come out to talk to me for the check. And then the manager is like, he looks like me, but he's like, 22, and he's like got red eyes, and he's like, what do you want, man? I was like, I need some paperwork for this thing. We're doing a store check or whatever. You know what I mean? So like, I found it difficult in that manner, but you don't need a car for those. Well, you need a car to get to the job. However,
you don't need a
to get
specific car,
but you don't need a specific car. Yeah.
Yeah. There's secret shopper apps too. I did one of those once, but it was totally lame. Like it was actually for Salvation Army, and like they'll reimburse you like up to like whatever you buy, they reimburse you up to like I think $20 plus they pay you $20 on top of that. And like, but it takes like a month before they actually pay you. So
I didn't even think about
if you like
this.
going to thrift stores and you're gonna go there anyway, it might be.
Yeah, that's something to look at, because I've recently what I've been doing recently is trying to work up been focusing on eBay. Like David mentioned last week, we had Paul on who does eBay full time. So I had already started up the eBay store, and I was kind of like trying to refine that this week, get my inventory up as well. So I've been going to thrift stores, going to estate sales. So I'm going to be in there anyway.
What do you sell on eBay?
Right now it's a little all over the place. I'm just starting, but right now trying to focus on like just men's clothes and then some women's clothes as well. Because wife also likes going to thrift stores as well, just for herself, and also she has a bunch of stuff that she wants to get rid of that's pretty nice. But yeah,
he'll be back.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this. I didn't even think about this.
Yes.
I can get you a job. I didn't even think about this.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
No worries. I've done that before.
I didn't even think about this, Broseph. I can get you real estate inspection work, because I had the real estate inspection company for so long, and I stopped it when I was doing Amazon, which I'm still doing. But I got a buddy that owns a company out of New Jersey, and I don't know if they have Colorado on their thing, but I have another buddy that lives here in New Hampshire that also does it. But real estate inspection is pretty easy, and you're 1099. So when you get the work, you get an inbox of like orders to come in, and you have like 30 days to complete them. And when you complete them, they give you 30 more or 10 more or whatever you're working. So if you wake up and you're like, I need money, you go do all your inspections, then you upload them all, then the system will kick you more. But if you're busy and you can't do them to Saturday, you know what I mean? Like they just sit and somebody else is getting your stuff. But I did that for quite a long time. I wanted to, so I'll pull this up here. I wanted to ask Chad. I wanted to ask Chad something that he's pretty much, this is where I say being Chad's friend in talking about with him, this stuff over the years, he excels in, of the niche down of whatever, really, really good at customer service and interacting with customers. So I wanted to ask you, Like, so for instance, like you've sent me scripts before and we've gone through stuff like with Instacart. When I used to do it, I didn't do any texting. I would go in, I would shop like a robot, and then I would drop the stuff off. And back in the day, you didn't leave it and take a picture. You would meet with the person. But when it first kind of started, people thought about Instacart, oh, people are shopping for me. But as time goes on and people have become so used to delivery stuff, they kind of forget that there's a human doing it. It's like in their mind, it's just this robot that's out there getting their magic groceries for them to show up. And so what Chad had taught me is like, if you interact with them and say, hey, my name's Chad, I'm a professional shopper and I'll be working on your order today. If there's anything that you need to change, please let me know. I'm going to do my best for substitution. And this really starts, oh yeah, there is a human being that's working for me here. It's not corporate, like just sending it over. Anyways, once I started kind of doing that and not doing cold drops where I would take a photo of the thing and say, oh, I put your eggs on top, so be careful, or there's strawberries in here and it's not rubber band shut.
Being considerate, yeah.
My tips went way up, like way up. So anyways, Chad, could you speak to us about how you interact day to day with like either your Uber, Lyft, Instacart, DoorDash people within the communication?
Yeah. There's an old video about this on my channel, but yeah, whenever I pick up an order on any of the delivery apps except for like Amazon, you know, something like Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Spark, Instacart, Shipped. Like I send the person a text message that says I'm on my way. If it's at like it'll actually, I'll just bring it up right here. I'll text this to Dave, and you can hold your camera.
I got the other screenshot you sent me too.
It says, hello, this is Chad, your delivery driver. I'm on my way to you now. Please let me know if I should knock or ring doorbell, or if you prefer stealth mode. I don't know if this will show on camera. Wait, let me.
I have to cut and paste because of the last message you sent me. Can't be.
Okay, yeah.
And then when I'm done, I say, you know, thanks for your tip. With sky-high inflation and stagnant wages, your tip is appreciated now more than ever. When the app asks you to rate your driver/shopper, please tap 5 stars.
Oh, I didn't know you could say that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been doing that for years. That's
I
so think funny. I think these messages only affect like a minority of my jobs. But like when it does pay off, it really pays off, because I noticed like on Walmart Spark, which as much as I like it, the problem is you have to wait 24 hours for your tips to clear. So people can pull their tips in 23 hours and 59 minutes after delivery.
Yeah,
You're like Instacart gives them 2 hours to pull it. Uber Eats,
they get 2 hours to pull it, but 24 hours to adjust it if they want to add.
Oh yeah, actually they have up to 2 weeks to bump it up. But if they're gonna bump it up, they bump it up like within an hour of you dropping it off. Not
a couple weeks back, we had a snowstorm, and I was coming back anyways, and I was up. I don't mind delivering up near Stowe, Vermont, because a lot of people are vacationing for skiing, and they got a lot of money if they're staying in those houses.
Oh yeah.
And so you'll get big orders and big tips. But it was a snowstorm, and the order was very small. It was like banana, tea, cough medicine, whatever. So I knew the person was sick. So I started to message them, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get this to you. I'm sorry you're feeling sick, whatever. Is there anything else you forgot? And they didn't respond. So I was like, okay, if they don't respond back, then they don't want to be bothered. So I get on with the order. If they start communicating back and forth, I work with them. So then I still messaged and said, hey, I'm on my way, blah, blah, blah. That's when I got a response that said, hey, my driveway is super icy and slippery. Don't even bother trying to give up. Just leave it at the bottom of the driveway. We'll come out and get it. And I said, I have a 4-wheel drive. I'll try to get it. They were right. Like it was up a hill, and I started sliding back, and I actually had to steer down the ice and get out. But then I walked up the thing to the door and met the husband. And I said, I wanted to bring this up because I figured somebody was sick and I didn't want you to have to go all the way to the street with 6. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. This is going to, save me a bunch. So I give it to him. He said his wife was sick. And then I got a notification that my tips went up. They had originally tipped me $10. He put another 50 on top of it, which was more than he even paid for the groceries or whatever. So I got $60 in tips just for just for treating them like a human being and letting them recognize that I wasn't a corporation that's like delivering their groceries. And I've had that most of the time, like Chad saying, if I message them and they don't respond, then I'm like, they want to be left alone. But if I message and they communicate back and forth and we change some stuff and I show them the strawberries probably aren't that good, do you want another? Instead of just refunding it, is there another one you want? Most of the time that if you get a communicative person, they remember you and they up the tip.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That seems to be, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that this seems to be the one carryover from pest control into, this 1099 work, which is that that's how you get extra tips, because pest control, you don't, it's not standard to get tips, but if you text them ahead of time, hey, just want to let you know I'm on my way, and they're like, oh, I really think, that was great, thank you. I would get, sometimes even just a Gatorade, even that's a little, okay, now I don't have to buy, another drink. But then, then the people that were actually considerate, that especially the ones that actually had problems to deal with, again, like with Instacart or all these rideshare apps, they're specifically requesting you. If they are actually having issues to deal with, you treat them like a human, and they're like, wow, oh my goodness, thank you for not just being a robot. A lot more appreciative.
So you mentioned, you sent me this link here. So this is gigspot.com.
Oh yeah, that's the secret, I was gonna say Secret Santa, the mystery shopper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you go and actually do tasks. Even this one is saying you could go get a meal and then you report back on the meal.
Yeah,
and you get paid. Yeah.
It's really not. I think that's more for like housewives and retirees.
Yeah.
You can't really make a living off that, or it's not even like a really viable.
I gotta talk to my co-host tonight. I think he would go get some Wendy's for $20.
I was gonna say I mean, like you were saying, it sounds like less of a a way to make a living and more of a, hey, if you're gonna get Wendy's anyways.
Yeah. And you can totally cheat too. You could just have ChatGPT, right? Because they want freaking like essays. They want. Yeah, they want to know like all these details, and it's like there isn't a whole lot to say. It's like I went to it'll say, who did you talk to? How were they dressed properly? Did they say yes please? How?
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like I don't remember, or it's just like I didn't interact with anybody. It's like I just went there.
Yeah.
How many times did they say your pleasure at Chick-fil-A?
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, so you could just like you could do it and just tell ChatGPT, just ham it up, and I have a feeling. I bet you those things are going to end soon because they're going to realize people are just using AI to write it for them. People are just trying to collect the $20 and the reimbursement.
Just set up an AI bot to.
You do have to take a photograph of the receipt to prove you actually bought something and that you were there. Although I guess you could just have AI fake that too.
Yeah. That reminds me of something. So like, hey, I got another question for you, because
right now
I don't do this because it always felt like more work than it was worth, right? But when I first started doing
AI reviews,
Instacart, you could sign up for like gas discounts, and then you don't give the receipts to the people of Instacart because they're paying a different fee based on the Instacart website. So you keep the receipts. So then there's another app that if you upload your receipts, you get paid for certain items. And so you start getting down this road of like trying to figure out how to monetize everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
And then by the time I started like uploading the receipts and they get rejected, so I'd have to re-upload them. And I was like, I'm wasting more time than the money that I'm making.
Oh yeah. I used to do that. That was better before COVID. And there's like probably like at least a dozen of those receipt apps. And you would have to. I found myself. I was sitting on the couch watching TV, like taking pictures of receipts for like 2 hours in a row to get like hardly any money back at all.
Yeah.
Like before COVID, I used to make like $5-10 a day just off the receipts, and now it's you hardly get anything. Yeah, so like the only one that I do that for now is Gas Buddy, because I use Gas Buddy to just get discounts on gas anyway.
That was kind of my next question. Which one of those are worth doing it?
Yeah.
You still think the upside and the Gas Buddy are worth it?
I could, since I'm driving the Prius, I could probably ditch Gas Buddy. It's like $8 it's like $8 a month. And normally I fill up at BJ's, which is a club store like Costco and Sam's Club. So it's cheaper than all the other gas stations in town. But every once in a while, like the gas station a block down the road from me on Gas Buddy with their discount will be cheaper than going to BJ's. So I don't know. I might get rid of Gas Buddy. I mean, it's only $8 a month, so it's not a lot. But yeah, and Get Upside, like, is this like Get Upside only works if I go to Chevron instead of BJ's? But like I still get like a few dollars a month in Gas Buddy referrals going back years. Like I have this whole on my email, I had to set up a separate inbox just for Get Upside. So like anything from Get Upside just goes in there, because like it'll say you earned 3 cents off a referral, and like there's just a few dozen of these emails of you made 1 cent, you made 2, like, you know, just literally pennies.
Yeah.
So it's like this multi-level marketing thing, and if you just let it, I'll like cash out like maybe once every 6 to 9 months, you know, and like I'll get like $100 Amazon gift card, something like that, you know, buy myself. Like I'll buy myself like a Christmas present or birthday present, or yeah, it's it's funny, those types of apps, like their TOS says like you're not supposed to go on YouTube and social media and spam out your referral code, but that's like the only way to like really make money on it. Like unless like you're just such like the most charming person that you can persuade every single person that you run into, like, here, you should sign up with this app, you know?
Yeah.
like an actual face-to-face referral. But
yeah, who does that anymore?
That was my experience with all that stuff, is people would tell you to sign up for it. And I was like, the amount of work that I'm doing does not seem worth half the orders aren't worth taking to make money.
right.
So adding that to it does not help.
I know,
Yeah.
like, I don't know how it is where you guys go, but you know, Publix is the big supermarket chain in the Southeast.
Yeah.
And when you do an Instacart order through Publix, it doesn't print the receipt anymore. There is a way, I figured out a way a long time ago to hack it, to actually get them to print the receipt. And that's when I was still doing Ibotta and all the receipt rebate apps. But I quit doing those last year. So it's nice that they don't print the receipt out anymore, because I get home and I don't have like all this garbage. So,
Yeah, that's at the first thing I do when I walk in, because I put everything in my back left pocket, and then I walk over to my shredder and I just feed all the receipts and listen to them grind up. At the end of the day, we have so it's pretty cool, and not all of them. We have Hanover's Market Basket, and then Price Chopper, but it's owned by Market 32 up here.
yeah, they're the same company.
But what's happening now? Hannaford's hasn't done it yet, but the other ones, I pick self-checkout. Depending on how big the order. If it's a really big order and they got baggers, it's better for me to go to the bagger, because we can both bag and get out of there. But if it's just a decent size order, I'll go to self-checkout. And when you're done, you don't even have to pull up the card. You just say that it's an Instacart order, and a QR code comes on the screen, and then you shoot the QR code, and then the associate has to come over and just approve it. But that's very nice, because that's the easiest way to do it, because it goes through. And I actually only had this happen once. I didn't know this. Do you know that you can, if you have multiple orders and you mess up the items, it still pays for it. And then when you go to deliver it, it has you swap the items.
Yeah, you're talking on Instacart.
Yeah, I accidentally showed up at a thing, and I had never made an order in all my years of doing it. And I went to go deliver and said, hey, you actually have graham crackers in order A and it's supposed to be in order B. Can you switch that before you deliver it? And I switched it, had to scan it,
That's
show
one
it
of
to
the
the sorting thing,
reasons.
and switch it.
That's one of the reasons the app has you take a photo of the receipt, is to make sure like the right person got the right. Sometimes, I mean, that happens. That's a problem with doing doubles and triples, but
well, I had done a huge Thanksgiving order at a Costco up here. Oh, it was a Sam's Club up here, and they got this particular type of organic turkey breast, but the app wouldn't scan it. It wouldn't accept it. It was the right order, but it just wouldn't go through. It kept like rejecting it. So I manually put it in the price or whatever. But then I got to the register and the order got flagged, and we had to call it Instacart. So luckily it happened at Sam Club because they can print the receipt out and then put it over at the side thing. So I went over there, I had to call to explain it to them. They added it to the order. And the associate said, look, if there's ever extra orders or wrong, you did the batches wrong, it gets rejected. So don't mess up the order. So I was always like really nervous that I'm going to have the wrong, when you're doing a triple shop, I'll have like my biggest order in one cart, and then I'll have like a hand cart with 2 layers. And I'll be putting like A here, C here, but the big order is B here. And I have to just like remember it. I used to have cards that I would put in different carts. But anyways, but when this happened the other day and it didn't reject it when I checked out, I was like, was that guy lying to me that you can mess up on the orders and they'll still let you pay for it? So I don't know how it works, but I do know that that I had an order the other day where it's like, this order, these graham crackers need to be put in order B before you drop them off. So they're slowly making it idiot proof.
Yeah. Spark sort of has something like that. They'll make you scan one item when you go to make if it's a multi-stop delivery. It'll say like you have to scan one item. Instacart does the same thing. The only problem is like you're only scanning one item. So how do they know you haven't mixed up the items? It's although like on Spark, it will show you a list in a picture of everything, so you can keep checking it to make sure like this person, these are the items for this person. One other thing you might want to check out is dumpling. Have either of you guys ever looked into dumpling?
Oh yeah.
No, I
so
haven't.
I felt like we're going long, so I was going to ask you, but go ahead, because I do have another question about the way that gig stuff is going.
I did.
So I made videos on dumpling when it first came out, because when they first advertised, they advertised it as, if you're delivering groceries for people, we're creating an app where you can build a clientele.
Yeah. It's basically your own Instacart.
You'll become your own grocery delivery guy for your own customers, but we provide the app. I made a video about this when it first came out, and with the referral link. I made a couple $100 from the referral link, and then they took it back from me because they said, "Oh, you were supposed to actually do dumpling in the first 6 months in order to qualify." Yeah,
that's funny.
Well, they didn't take it back from me, but I made some money, and when I went to withdraw it, they were like, "You can't withdraw it because you didn't meet the
you need to actually use the app."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I did dumpling a couple years ago, but dumpling's not free. It's the opposite. You have to pay to be on dumpling. It's like $30 a month, but it's like they're handling all the overhead for you. It's like they're building the website for you.
Okay.
Like you're using their app. I think dumpling was probably pretty lucrative before COVID when all the deliveries were face to face, but because that's how I used to sell people on dumpling. Is like a lot of times they'll message me, going back to earlier in the show, be like, "Oh my God, you're so helpful. I wish you could be my driver every time." And then when I meet them at the door, I say, "Hey," because I had this flyer, and you put like a QR code on it, and you just you give them a flyer, and you say, "Hey, if you want to sign up with dumpling, I'll always be your shopper." It's basically the same thing as Instacart.
You're basically poaching.
Yeah,
poaching customers.
Yeah. But now I don't know any. It's like, I think if you build up a huge clientele before COVID, and you can, or like if you're just like in a huge city like Manhattan, Chicago, LA, like I think it could be pretty lucrative there. But like I probably
So
got like at least 30, maybe even 40 clients, but like none of them ever place an order.
here's what I would do.
I was like losing money on dumpling. So
Here's what I would do. I would, if I was going to do dumpling, I would do dumpling. I would set up the site. I'd get all the rewards. Then I would go and I would create on Nextdoor a business for grocery delivery, because Nextdoor is like basically Facebook for the people that live right next to me. And every time I go on there, it's somebody saying, "Oh, I need grocery deliveries," or they'd be like, "Hey, Pam, are you going to be making muffins on Saturday because of the storm? I want to stop by the cart." So it's literally like my neighbors. And I know they're all using Instacart and DoorDash or whatever. But if I were to say, "Hey, this is Dave, I live over on wherever," you're not getting the information. I live over on whatever street.
Ports unknown.
Instead of using the big things, if you want to go through me, I actually do a delivery service, and then I can, because I listen to every Friday like clockwork. The woman that lives across the hall gets her Friday night meal delivered as a treat. And then every other Friday, she gets her groceries delivered. And so it's like, if you know somebody like that, they probably much rather go through you. But I'm also torn because, like, I almost feel like sometimes people prefer to deal with the stranger, because if things go bad,
like Chad was saying, post-COVID,
they can tip less or tip more if it goes good. But like if they know you, they kind of feel like they're stuck and they have to tip more.
Yeah.
I don't know. So here's what I had a question for you, Chad.
Real quick, do you mind? I just have to second. I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we're going to probably shut this down very, very quickly because we've been going almost 3 hours. But I had a question for Chad because
I'll be back.
One of my things is catering it seems like becoming pretty lucrative in some of these areas. There's a company that I started to sign up for, but they wanted me to like wear a shirt and a tie and like all this stuff I didn't want to do. It was Deliver That or whatever was the one. And they won't stop emailing me now, and there's no unsubscribe. So I have to like literally reach out to them, but they do catering.
I did Deliver That a few years ago, like right when I did a video on it, but I only did it I didn't do it very long. And like Deliver That, it's one of those companies where it's like you don't know how much you're making until like a week later.
Yeah. So I saw there's like a whole branding thing now of. It's basically it's DoorDash, Uber, and Lyft. So we're talking about catering now, bro. So there's a. It looks like if I were to list like the up and coming stuff, I think that DoorDash, I mean not DoorDash, medical couriers is like the new niche that's coming. But catering seems like it's kind of now that COVID and stuff is over. It's basically some of these apps like DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever for offices and businesses and parties and stuff. And so you're like, oh, when there's a birthday party, it's like, yeah, when there's a birthday party and stuff. But also like if you're just an office on Friday and you order from whatever, or you're having a meeting or there's out of towners. So any of those type niches outside are the corporations that are ordering for like a meeting hall are using them. They pay more, but they require more. They require a lot more professionalism. You have to dress a certain way. You have to sign up the night before for a certain time the next day, and wear food prep like hair nets and gloves and all this stuff. But they pay a lot more. But Chad was saying they didn't tell him what he was getting paid until like 2 weeks later. He's like, this is like doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, check this out. My friend Brian, Dave, he was on when it was like me, you, Chris, and Brian last August. He just sent me a screenshot. I don't know if you can see this.
26.29.
It's four shop only orders, 144 items, 190 units. That's insanity.
Yeah,
for $26.
That would probably take at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no.
So I got a question for you. Orders. What is your item per second, Chad?
Probably, I don't know. Like, I don't go by what the app says, but it's about 30 seconds. If you,
What does the app say? But you
I
don't,
don't
you
even
don't.
know where it is. I think it probably says 60 something.
Yeah, mine is 103. And so here's one of the problems that I have here is
63, yeah.
okay, so yours is like, well, here's one of my issues here. Because I don't have a home store. So when I was doing
Very nice.
Instacart full time in the city or outside Providence, I had 2 or 3 home stores. So I'm basically going to the same place back and forth all day long. So you become so familiar with the stores, you know where everything is. You know how to reorganize it, so you don't even have to worry. I'm doing so many different stores that I haven't relearned the multiple stores that I'm in. And then we have bad stores here that I won't even go to. It's crazy because we have one store that so we have multiple market baskets, but one of them is like a small in the city. So it's got less merchandise. It's smaller. They don't have a selection. They have one store bought thing and then one alternative. And like, so they might have like breakfast sausage, plain store market basket flavor, and then whatever, but no maple syrup, no whatever. And I'll get an order for that and it'll be expensive, but then you get there and everything's a replacement because the list is like you're going to one of the major brands and it turns into a nightmare. So now what you thought was going to be very profitable turns into the customer being like, they don't have everything bagels. And you have to explain to them like, yeah, I'm not an idiot. Like they literally don't because they sent me to this one. Like, well, why didn't you go to the other market basket over here? I was like, I'm not allowed to. But then now Instacart's getting mad at you because you're basically throwing them under the bus. So you can't do that.
Well, you know what's nice about Spark compared to Instacart? Spark is so much faster because it tells you the aisle, and then it'll have like the section. Like, I don't know if you can see like my shelves here. So like, you know, like when you there's
hold on,
partitions or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, hey, where'd everybody go?
No, I'm just showing your shelves in the background.
Oh, okay. So like it'll say aisle number, section number, and then each tag on the shelf will have a number. They call it a module or modular, something like that. And it's really helpful for like the pharmacy aisles where there's like, you know, it's like eye drops or something very small. And it'll say, you know, so like aisle, and like especially at Walmart, because it'll say aisle G1, section 2, modular 83. And like, and now they even have like a thing where you can you press flash and a little light will flash. So like what you can do is you can press flash before you even get down that aisle. You start walking down the aisle, you see the light flashing, and you know exactly where to go. I don't know why Instacart doesn't do this. It would be awesome. Like, so it would speed up everything.
Yeah, so Instacart does have some cool things, which is they started doing the aisles, which they didn't do when I first started. Not everything's in the aisle. And not every aisle. Sometimes you go to a store and the aisles are actually all
the aisles either.
The aisles are all wrong. So that helps. I did notice going into Walmart as a shopper recently. Have you seen that they don't have the price tags? They have moving price tags on some of the items. So like if you go to like an everyday item, it'll be say like $1.29. But if you go to the more expensive items now, they have a tag there with no price on it.
Oh,
and then you scan it with the Walmart app, and it'll tell you how much it cost. And
it's like dynamic pricing changes.
Yeah, they have dynamic pricing like Amazon now, where they
that must be in your area because I've never seen that around here.
They just started doing it. It's only in certain items. So like if you were to go like I was looking for vegan protein powder. Right. So it was like in the expensive, like $50 items. And I started scanning everything. So like the energy drinks, like 5-hour energy drinks and Equate, they don't have price tags anymore. They have that dynamic pricing or whatever. And you have to scan it to see. And it's based on supply and demand. What was crazy is they had a grape flavored 5-hour energy, and they had like 8 of them stacked on top of one another. And next to it, they had watermelon, and they only had 1 left. And the watermelon flavor was like $10 more than the grape because they only had 1 watermelon left and they had all like 8 grapes. So it was like, It makes sense because you're like this one's more popular and there's only one left.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense because they can just order more. They just didn't.
Yeah. Exactly. The like they're twisting the laws of supply and demand. It's like, for this specific store.
Yeah.
I gotta run. I just put a shameless plug for my podcast, His and Hers Gen X podcast.
Yeah.
So check us out on YouTube. We just hit 111 subs. So we're 10% of the way to get monetized.
Yeah. So
follow.
I can plug you when you leave if you want, but make sure if you want any of the gig information, Chad's been doing GigTube for a while now. He's done it professionally for what, 5 years now?
No, since like 2018. Yeah, like 8 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 8 years. And he paid off his student loans pretty much, lived full time on it for the most part,
awesome.
bought vehicles, did all the good stuff you want to do while setting his own schedule, learning all the stuff, staying on top of it. And then just recently him and it's Christina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, recently him and Christina started His and Hers Gen X podcast where they talk about movies in pop culture and stuff like that from a Gen X, from a Gen X point of view.
I was gonna say I love all the posters in the back. It's I'm a millennial, but those are all the ones I've
The show wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be just movie reviews, but that's all so far. That's all we've done. But for March, we're gonna actually start doing music. We're doing musical merch.
Nice.
We're actually talk about some music. So
heck yeah.
All right. Thanks for having me on the show.
We're gonna shut it down. Thanks for having us.
For all your information.
I'll text you later to get your stuff, the description. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
All right. See ya.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right. Yeah. So check all that out. We've gone through almost 3 hours now, and hopefully people get some value from this. My takeaway or what I'm working on for this week in the last 5 hours here when I get off the stream, I've been refixing my branding using documentation and AI to help me figure out how to, bring all my different channels together, but also keep them niched down. And then I'm learning on how to go on the internet, use Google, YouTube, TikTok, and AI to research or look into gaps in information that the internet has. So when people looking for information that's not on the internet, that gets incentivized into the algorithms now. So I'm going to look through some of those niches and see what I have for new information. It's too late in the show to get into all of it, but the new way that the algorithms work, from my understanding, is if there's a video out there that has 100 points of information in it, and you create a new video, and that has 20 points of information in it, and all those 20 points are in this video that has 100 already that's being pushed, your video will no longer get pushed because there's already something that's already categorized in that. Through Gemini is the big one that's doing this. So through YouTube and Google searches. So in order to get new data to recategorize it, you need to make new, fresh content. So people can't copy. What they've been doing is they would download a video, they would tell ChatGPT to create some scripts, and then they would copy the scripts of popular stuff and upload it.
Earlier.
Yeah, and go through. That is no longer
viable.
You can go through and pull the scripts and say, now I do this, how could we change it?
Yeah.
Right. So I've been going through all that, and I have everybody here has something they know that somebody else doesn't. I'm going to try to figure out what that is and start to try making content on that. So that's my goal for this week.
Yeah. And I guess I've kind of unknowingly been doing that this week by just delving more into, learning about coins, figuring out, specific errors. Like, for example, one video that I want to make that I didn't really find was scratches versus die cracks on coins, because scratches, no value at all. Die crack means it's when the die that stamped the coin, when there's a crack in it, and so the metal on the coin ends up filling in. Whatever, this is boring, but I was trying to find a video that clearly explained the differences between die cracks and scratches, and I couldn't find anything except for some old guys on YouTube. And then thinking about that combined with the fact that when I that estate sale that I went to of the gentleman who died, that was a oh my God, I forgot that, numismatist, with his daughters saying, yeah, it's, we didn't have this out here because no one's into the coin stuff anymore. That really got me going down on that, train of thought. Oh, this is exactly the content gap stuff that we've been talking about, because it's even more significant of a content gap because there's so many fewer people my age and younger that are actually, there's a few, but so many fewer that are interested in, coins and numismatics than, previous generations.
Yeah.
So, and that was specifically also something I'd seen on that TikTok gap, content gap page specifically. So, so I guess in regards to, what you said, what I've been doing and will continue to, my plan is to, kind of commit to the coin stuff. But also, I also saw something else on the content gap, which was pest control. I have knowledge about pest control.
Yeah.
Obviously I might have to start a separate account, to do like actual pest control theme so as to go along with, what we've been talking about, niching down in different regards. But I might put that on the back burner. And, I don't, like you said earlier, not everything shines as gold. I gotta, I gotta focus. So I think with the TikTok coin stuff, I'm going to keep that going. And then, focus on the eBay stuff, as well as I've got, all these notes written down from what
Chad
was talking about. I'm going to explore these options as well, explore getting the fake piss do that, or even just see if some of the ones around here allow the medical
here's my two pieces of thing that we'll end it on is one, making the transition, whatever it is that you guys do. When you're going from a W-2 to a 1099, you're trying to make this leap. The end goal is going to be something that I love, that feels like I'm living my life, but it's monetized, where I'm just living my life, but the stuff that I want to do makes me money.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whatever that looks like for you as an individual. But in the meantime, you need something to eat while you're figuring that out. And part of that is what this is. So I could go back to my grind in this corporate thing and make money, but I already know that doesn't make me happy. So I would much rather have the free time to build stuff in the background. And I'm not a prideful person, so I don't care that I'm delivering groceries or delivering whatever.
Yeah.
I still have the Amazon business, which I like, but I was getting sick of it because it wasn't adding the type of value that I wanted to. So I ended some of the contracts that I was just like making money, which leads me into when you go online, or when I go on my Instagram and I look at the reel, I go on YouTube and you're trying to look for ideas. Everybody's leading with the money. Everybody's saying, make 10K, make 12K, make $100 a day, make $400 a day. And I can tell you from experience, if you go down that road of trying to make money, one, you will fail, but two, you will fail morally and feel sick. But if you go down the road of creating value for your community and building relationships and networking and creating that value, and the money is a signal of the value that you add to your community. It's a guiding light, not your sole purpose. You'll start to feel more fulfilled and real organized, and you'll very quickly start to see where you should focus your energy. It won't be perfect, but it'll be better. And unfortunately, because of the way the economy and money and inflation and everything, you're going to have to keep dipping into, I need the money. I got to eat. I got a family. I got a bill. I got whatever. But the goal is to get yourself to a point where you're just creating the value, and you'd be trying to create that no matter what. And that value is so worthwhile to your community that you're being credited, for it with money. So that's really where I've been making the mental shift over all this stuff. Like, just to keep going again, even like creating content and going stuff. And we were like, oh, we're going to create this. It's going to get this, make good content that's valuable. That'll get views. The views will get followers. So instead of trying to get followers, add the value, the followers are going to come.
Yes.
And
yes,
I'm going to try to be better at this. That's my goal right now.
Be more mindful about that. Yeah. Same. Me
Yeah.
too.
Be more mindful. So, all right. We'll put all the links to Broseph stuff below. We're going to have his link tree down there.
I'm going to have to update my link tree like you did too.
And then within 24 hours, we can talk more off. And then when 24 hours goes by, I'm going to re-upload all this stuff, and I'll fix the description and stuff. So give me a day or so, and I'll have Chad's data when I get it from him and Broseph's mine. But as always, we appreciate the support. If you know anybody you think this might be useful for, or if you have questions for next episode, please put them below. Subscribe, follow, notifications. We're going to try to go, notifications will be helpful because we're going to try to go every Saturday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time, but it might be different. We're also going to try to go once a week. I'm currently covering for somebody who had surgery. So I'm working in the morning for them, taking a second medical route. When that ends, Broseph and I are going to be on the channel more putting plans. So make sure you fall for that. And we'll see you next time. I'm going to end the stream before I